southern end. Croatia sets up at dummy half and keeps it moving across to that right-hand side of the park where Fanua Bolle has his first carry. New Zealand-born fella, played junior footy in Victoria, coming through the Storm Pathway system. Now the first run for Kai Pearce-Paul in his 50th game. 40 out, 20 in on the eastern side. They come back open side left. Alex Toll, there's a guy in form. Comes across here, the other back row with Samuela Fainu. Also a recent 50 game. He'll play it 5 short of the halfway. Couple of plays left here. Centres Croatia gives it right to Alex Toll. Up inside Broncos territory on this first set of the game. And that will be last play for West Tigers. Croatia fires it across here for Adam Dewey. Speaking of players in form, high and long kick down towards that 10-metre line, and the Broncos will bring it away here with Karapani, brought to the ground 25 out from his own line. Dummy half Ezra Mann gives it across short side left, and the Broncos wearing their, it was mostly navy, kind of was a very, very dark maroon here tonight, the away team with the darker shorts as well. The West Tigers in the predominantly white strip, which I suppose makes us think more of the Magpies in the years they spent playing here. 35 out, 10 in from the eastern side here, and the ball carrier in Piakura. I'll give it across now to a centre field run, and tackled 7 short of the halfway is Xavier Willison. He scored a couple of tries last time these sides met. They come to the right edge now, the Brisbane Broncos, and tackled 5 inside West Territory is Katoni Staggs. He'll play it across now as it's fed from Rogers to Reynolds to end the set. High kick down towards that opposing 10-metre line, and it's with Jareen Puller, who steps away from one there. He's dragged down by Mariner, and also with him to make the tackle is Jordan Ricky. 20 out, 5 in from the western side here. Tigers back on the attack, and no score so far. Dean Hallertau inside these first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty intense start from both teams. The Tigers, what they've done really well the last month or since the start of the season is their yardage sets. They get out of trouble really well, which they did in their first, but the Broncos evenly matched them and made plenty of progress downfield.
Dummy half Croatia. They get a set restart here, the first of the game for West Tigers, and 12 makes use of that first carry of the set, and he stops 6 short of the halfway in centre field here for West Tigers. Croatia comes back short side left. Inside ball and the wraparound comes back to Taylor May, and he stands initially in the tackle of Payne Haas, and also Reynolds in there as well. Now it comes across through hands to Terrell May. The Tigers go right-hand side, sweeping it across now all the way to Pat Herbert onto the edge, and now a great run on the wing from Sunia Taruva. Tackle gets up, keeps going Taruva. Is he called back here by Todd Smith? No. So it's deep in that northeastern corner of Campbelltown Stadium there, 6 metres shy of that Brisbane Broncos line. The Tigers here have another set restart for inside the 10, so it'll come across from right to left. And now with Taylor May. He's to within 15 metres of that northern goal line, left-hand side of the post. Croatia signalling for maybe a third set restart here in this attacking foray. And now Terrell May won't offload. He's tackled now, 5 out left-hand side of the sticks. Croatia holds it for a moment, now finds Luai across to Dewey, wrapped up by Mann. Dewey stands in that tackle, and also coming in there, Rogers and Willison. Play it now, 6 out right-hand side of the post. Croatia off to Twal, runs at the line, the crowd rises with him, Alex Twal, and it won't be career try number 4 coming there. He'll play it 4 metres shy now from that northern goal line. Croatia comes left-hand side, back to Dewey, steps on Reynolds. He was too quick and too crafty. They got the set restart too. Dewey's almost there on play 1 of that restart. 4 minutes played, no score so far. Tigers can change that with Bolle. He fends off Rogers. Bolle steps inside that 10-metre line now. Also there Wilson to make the tackle. Croatia waits at dummy half. Just repeat ball here for West Tigers, and this Brisbane Broncos dam wall is breaking. Luai finds his halves partner in Dewey. He leaves one tackler there for dead in Katoni Staggs. He'll play it now, 6 out from that northern line. Croatia in front of the uprights. Off here to Terrell May. He fends off Rogers. Tries again Terrell May. Haas gets him this time, a stronger body, and he'll play it now, 2.5 out, right-hand side of the post. Croatia, he'll no-look pass across here to Bolle, but he might be held up in goal, or just shy in fact. Underneath the black dot, Croatia dummy half, across to Adam Dewey, feeds it back to Luai, puts a crafty kick in the corner, and it's knocked dead by Jesse Arthurs. So Pressure on that Brisbane goal line defence with what felt like about 18 tackles, and it remains Tigers 0, Broncos 0. 5 gone first half here on ABC Sport. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Well, the Broncos defence showed great resilience there. Multiple sets of 6 restarts have been given. They've got another set of 6 to defend here. We'll just see if they're going to go for a short kick-off and try and contest this and get the football back. And their jerseys tonight, they are a dark navy blue.
Yeah, it does. It's hard to tell with those darker shades, but indeed not the typical Brisbane Broncos jersey. So line drop out Brisbane. Reynolds sends it about 13 metres on the fly. Aerial contest. Up there was Mann, and ref Todd Smith deems it was indeed knocked forward by Brisbane. So it will be a West Tigers scrum feed, Dean Hallertau, 20 out from that northern line. It's been all the Tigers so far, but still no score.
Yeah, really good spot there from Adam Reynolds. Unfortunately for the Broncos, they couldn't regain possession, so they'll have to go again with that defence that Ruan just mentioned. They were superb in turning the Tigers away. Let's see what they can do this time.
Earlier at Stadium Australia, South 30 beat the Dragons 12. Much earlier, New Zealand Warriors 28, Gold Coast Titans 20. Left-hand side of the scrum they come, and again sweeping it left-hand side with Jareen Buller. Will play it 13 out right on that western touchline. Dummy half Makassini comes across now in centre field. The run from Samuela Fainu, and he'll play it 20 out, the 10 out, 20 in from the western side. Croissau cross to Alex 12. Dewey with half a gap there. It's now been knocked on by the West Tigers, and the error made out there by Kai Pearce-Paul. So this will give Brisbane some ball at last on that 10-metre line via a scrum feed. 6.5 played here, no score. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, we spoke about before the defence of the Brisbane Broncos, and they were giving away those infringements, so the offside infringements, but they were willing to get off their line really quick, which is what they did on that occasion. The Tigers shifted it. They were a little bit clunky in the passes, so the Broncos were able to get up in their face, force an error, and regain possession. Now they have to work it out from their own end.
With Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau, Ruan Sims here, NRL Saturday. It's been lost down there by Dean Mariner. So a Broncos error. Great work from the West Tigers defence. And as soon as the Broncos got possession, they give it straight back again here to the Tigers via a scrum feed.
A question here and a knock back maybe from the Bronx.
Joey, no tackles from the scrum. On-field rulings and knocking on contact. Brisbane are challenging.
So we'll look at this anyway. Alex from Morga says in Benji, I believe, 0467920222. Big shout out to Ryan, Ash and Liam somewhere on the Eyre Peninsula. Buck and Trish, Clare Valley.
Playing the ball this stage, just looking for other angles.
So it doesn't seem good on first glance here for the Broncos. Makassini comes in. Almost a one-on-one steal.
Marcy Makassini pulls the ball out in a one-on-one tackle. The ball travels forward. There's a knock-on for the West Tigers.
Okay, so that will be a reprieve then for the Brisbane Broncos, despite the efforts there of Makassini. So it's no score here, Tigers-Broncos inside these first 8 minutes. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, that was a very good challenge by the Broncos. I do think Makassini was a little hard done by. I did hear the video referee say that he was deliberately playing the football. I think it was just a tackle and the football was there and he just couldn't help himself.
Brisbane scrum 10 out from their own line at northern end, and the Tigers come across in number to make the tackle down there on Shibasaki. So they wheel and go left-hand side of the park. It's the far side of Campbelltown Stadium. Get to more of your text shortly as well. As I mentioned, winners earlier, South over the Dragons, and the Warriors held off a late comeback from the Titans at Mount Smart. 20 outs in the field here, the Broncos on play 3. It's played down there by Piakura. Cross right-hand side of the park now on an angled run, this time from Xavier Willison. They're starting, of course, due to the Paddy Carrigan suspension. The last play Broncos, 40 out centre field. Reynolds rolls it back there. Rogers across to his left for Mann, who just punts it on that right foot kick down towards the 20-metre line. Led by Pearce-Paul. And the bright pink boots, the 50-gamer. In fact, it's the fullback, to beg your pardon, Jareen Buller. He's pretty nimble, I will say, Kai Pearce-Paul, but he's not the fullback. Comes across here now to the winger. Speaking of nimble, Sunia Taruva, and he'll take it. He's taken down on the halfway line. 5 in from the eastern side. side. Setting up behind him with Pat Herbert. Keeps his place in the West Tigers team. It was a great story, wasn't it? A couple of years out of the game. Play at 40 out from that northern line. Croissau. Back across it comes now to Terrell May. It's come loose here as Mann was involved. West Tigers will cover the football though. A couple of plays left in the set. 9 gone first half. No score so far. Tigers Broncos here. NRL Saturday NBC Sporters. Blue Eyes. Feeds it across now. It'll come to Macassini on that left edge. Now it is last play West Tigers. 30 out from Brisbane's line. Comes to Adam Dewey. Ends the set with a kick. High up in the air. Arthur's the fullback will launch. He did have... Oh no, it's been plucked clear and fed back from Samuel Afinu to Taylor May, who scores in the corner. Great competing in the air from the back rower. Samuel Afinu had the better of Jesse Arthurs in size and strength, and he offloads back to Taylor May for a pretty simple try in the end in that northwestern corner of Campbelltown Stadium. 9.5 gone first half. Tigers 4, Broncos 0. Kick to come, Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, well, you know the Spring. It's they're competing in the air from Samuel Afinu, and he gets through on that kick, and Arthur's just posted all alone there. There was a few Broncos in the area, but he does a great job, Finu, to keep his eyes on the ball, jump up, pinch it off Arthur's, and then look straight to support on his left-hand side. A really nice high kick from Adam Dewey. Gets plenty of time to get it away. The pressure wasn't coming from the Broncos, and Finu, he really timed his run well. Took a few slower steps as he approached, and then is able to pinch the ball.
We felt it was coming, Ruan Sims. The Tigers do strike first.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. Again, off the back of some defensive effort from the Tigers as well. They had a lot of attack previously, but that set of defence just before then, they really muscled up and reduced the amount of distance that the Broncos were able to travel with their attacking set. What a great kick. I saw Adam Dewey practicing that in the warm-up. He was hitting them sweetly, and you could just hear it. It had this beautiful thump when he struck it. Fainu was absolutely fantastic, and unfortunately for Arthurs, he had to take off so early because Fainu was coming down so hard on him, and he was just on the way down as Fainu was on the way up and plucked it right out of his hands.
Taylor May also among the inclusions tonight for West Tigers. His first game back from a shoulder injury which he suffered in round 2, and as his first try in his second game of the year. They had 75% possession in this game, which probably does tell the story so far for West Tigers. Here's Adam Dewey, and he's 25 metres out here, metre in from the western side to make it a 6-0 scoreline West Tigers way. Adam Dewey having an outstanding year. To make it a 6-0 score here the home side's way. It's on its way here, right over the black dot. Great kick from Dewey. Up go the Flames. This crowd's going nuts here. Tigers 6, Broncos 0. 11 gone first half here. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport off the SMS. Dion, thank you for your text as always. Ruan, Dean and Spriggy, TV on mute. Grandstand blasting. Thanks, Cameron and Balcombe Hills. Dear Stuart from Kalinga, thank you for your text and your musings as always. Ali and Appen, amazing Ali and Appen. Look at the crowd tonight. Go Tigers. Brian from Umina, thank you for your text as well. And Derek and Ann in Howard, Queensland, sat by the fire listening to the call. Even had to put a blue signal on with the thongs and footy shorts, hoping the Broncos win. I'm sensing an absolute mauling from the Tigers. Thank you, Derek and Ann, as always, for your correspondence. Go around the ground shortly as well. Mentioned earlier, Souths 30, the Dragons 12, in the game most recently completed at Stadium Australia. 15 out here, the West Tigers on play 3. As Croissau feeds it across to Fanua Bolle, and Haas there to greet him. 25 out in concert with Willison. Here on this set for West Tigers, the set after points. 12 runs it straight into the Broncos defensive line. On the next play, it's fed wide to Terrell May. It's Taylor who scored the try. First only try so far tonight. Last play, West Tigers 40 out their own line as Croissau feeds Dewey. He kicks for distance onto the chest of Jesse Arthurs. The Broncos bring it back in attack before he's claimed 30 out from his own line. 12 gone first half. West Tigers 6, Brisbane Broncos 0.
Yeah, really important here for the Broncos to get through a confident set, get to a kick as best as possible, and really try and turn the Tigers around and focus their energy on restricting their metres out of their own end.
75% possession so far for West Tigers. Another yardage set here for the Brisbane Broncos. 35 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Rogers at dummy half across to Payne Haas. I mentioned Rogers, who is by no means their second or third or even fourth choice dummy half. Comes across here for Jensen. Now it's being lost by Reynolds. Ooh, welcome back, Reynolds. lost the ball on halfway, just dropped it cold. The West Tigers scrum here on that halfway line. 6-0 is their lead early on here. 13 gone first half. Touchline we go. Ruan Sims.
Well, Reynolds had an even tougher welcome by Jerome Luai, who came right out from his defensive position, 2 in from the sideline in the previous set of defence to put an absolute shot and test Adam Reynolds' ribs out. He may have just had a little bow peek to see if he was coming for another fight.
On your roof. Scrum feed here for the West Tigers. Croyser, the base of it goes right ahead side to Pat Herbert. But his first NRL game for 3 years last week, and indeed scored a try in that win against the Knights here at this same venue. The rumble up through centre field here, West Tigers. Played there by Fanua Bolle. Croyser across now to Terrell May. Stands in the tackle of Jordan Ricky and Josh Rogers. Going to play at 30 out here on play 3 now. Now it's a set restart. They've given away a few of those so far already, the Brisbane Broncos. Dewey across again to Bolle, and he backs his way into again Willison and Piakura. Play it now 25 out. Croyser out of the right hand side. Dewey across now. It comes through hands. Buller off to Herbert. And Taruba's been shoved over the touchline as well. Ball stays in play here. 15 out from that northern line. But right across now to Adam Dewey. Croyser inside ball to Twal, who takes on Jensen, and he's dragged down here. 12 out, dead centre field now for the West Tigers. Play to Croyser. Looks at the options left. Off to Luai. Inside ball now to his back rower in Samuel Afainu, who set up that last try of the game. Well, the first try of the game as it was, incidentally. Croyser comes open side right. Across to Luai. Saw half a gap here. Shaped the kick in the end. He is tackled down there by that man in Piakura. Comes all the way across now to Dewey, and now back to Terrell May, who surrenders. 10 metres out now. Last play, West Tigers, 6-0 their lead. They come back short side right. Dewey across to his fullback in Buller, and they'll swing it across now with a kick from Dewey. Wide in the upper left corner. Up in the air goes Makasini, and he got really anyway near it in the end. It will be a changeover. A Broncos ball deep in that northwestern corner of Campbelltown Stadium. 6-0 the West Tigers lead. 15 gone first half. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport with Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, they lost their way on that set there, the Tigers. A few passes, they're a little bit loose, a little bit disjointed, I would say. And obviously Jerome Luai coming back into the side. Jock Madden's done a fantastic job subbing in for him, but just the timing a little bit off on those set plays.
So 20 out and 20 in here at the start of a new set, the Brisbane Broncos. Reynolds at dummy half, feeds it across here for Tony Staggs. He hits the deck, 27 out from his own line, and trying to just whittle away at this possession game, which West have been dominant in so far. 6-0 their lead. Tackled there is the fullback Jesse Arthur's 40 out. Now comes back across to Payne Haas, and he just tries to plough through 3 West Tigers defenders up towards halfway here for the Broncos. Dummy half Rogers. Fed wide across here through Willison, and now Mam. Back on the inside to Piakura, who'll play at 40 out. Comes back now to Reynolds. He kicks up in the air into the set. Launching off that wing, Makasini brings it down comfortably to spot the tackle of Ricky, and he'll play at 10 out from his own line here for West Tigers, who lead 6-0 here, 16 gone first half. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims. Croyser out dummy half here, 20 out. Off to a strong run there from Sunia Taruba, who of course scored a hat-trick at this ground last week. And now 12 on a centre field rumble gains 10. He's 37 out from his own line. Couple left in the set now for the... I always say that. And then, of course, the set restart, because they've just been so ill-disciplined, the Broncos, in defence so far. So a set restart for West Tigers. 40 out from their own line as it's with Bolle. Dragged down by Payne Haas up top, and down low in the tackle again was Josh Rogers. Back it was Jensen, the 2 front rowers. Comes across now. Dewey off to Kai Pearce-Paul. Offloads back to Dewey. He explodes away over halfway, but he was dragged down from behind by Shibasaki. They'll play it quickly. Swole gets away, gains a quick 15. He's 30 out centre field. Croyser across to Terrell May. He jinks his way back the right side, takes on Haas. He was too quick for pace. Haas gets in from behind though. 5 out. Last play, West Tigers. Good run from Terrell May. Croyser finds Luai on last play. Now Dewey runs it all the way across. Long pass across to Makasini. He tries to burn Mariner, and it's come loose out the back here for Taylor May. He kicks for the in-goal area. Arthurs fields it. Great down. A great chase again from Samuel Afenu. He's doing everything so far in Hallertau. Fino drags down Arthurs. Another line drop out here for the Broncos. Repeat set, West Tigers, 6-0 their lead, 18 gone first half.
Yeah, it was a great chase on the end of there by Samuel Afino. As you said, Jesse Arthur's a much faster man, trying to get around the outside of him, but he throws the arm out and drags him down to get the repeat set. But the Tigers rolling through the middle. Alex Twal with the big carry, and then Cyril May, as you said, he burst past Payne Haas, puts him in a really good position. Once again, that middle third of the field for the Tigers, super effective.
Get to Ruan Sims shortly. Reynolds attempts another short line drop out as they bungled the first one. This might be, oh no, it's on the 10-metre line. Didn't quite carry it though, so that was only very close, but Todd Smith adjudicates that it will be the West Tigers. Just want to look at that again, I reckon. From this angle with parallax error, it looked like it was okay, but Todd Smith can see it better than we can. So penalty West Tigers, and they'll take the 2 from directly in front. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, everyone's just having a little bit of a breather while they set up to take this penalty goal from right in front. You would assume that it would be a sitter for a kicker of Adam Dewey's calibre. But I tell you what I really have enjoyed about the Tigers this year. They're not just trying to move the football for the sake of moving the football. They're identifying where the space is and getting at it. That set in particular, they had a really good ruck play. Alex Twal had a great run, fast played the ball, and Terrell May, instead of trying to shift it wide, just punched straight back in behind the ruck as we're watching Adam Reynolds gesticulate wildly with the referee, and then Adam Dewey adds the extra 2 points.
He's 2 from 2. West Tigers 8, Brisbane Broncos 0. Thank you, Rube. Mentioned the possession, which is still 70-odd% West Tigers. Penalty, that's the first official penalty of the game, but it's been so far a total of 6 set restarts, all against the Broncos.
Yeah, as you said, they've been ill-disciplined, and often when you've got inexperienced players coming in to fill voids, they probably don't follow the same cues that they get from the referees in Queensland Cup. So just a bit of adjustment they need to make there.
Tigers with the first 8 points of the game midway through this first half. Keegan's listening in Arkansas, and Lee shouts him out. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Keegan. Taking us with you on ABC Listen through Arkansas. Kirk and Townsville says, do everyone acknowledge how good the Tigers back row has been playing this year? Well, you mentioned the preview, didn't you, Shop? It's extraordinary. Kai Pearce-Paul, who's playing his 50th game tonight, and Samuel Afeno, also a recent 50-gamer. He's in great touch, especially Afeno tonight, and it's played now to Croissau. 25 out, it comes back through hands. Terrell May. There is the aforementioned Kai Pearce-Paul. The truth is dragged down there by Shibasaki. 32 out and 12 in from the eastern side. Croissau goes open side left for the run from Herbert. And Herbert stopped now 9 short of the halfway. 19.50 left, so over the halfway point of this opening 40 at Campbelltown. It's 8-0 the West Tigers. Offload comes from 12. Back to Luai. Left-hand side they come. Strong run now from Taylor May, but he's dumped over the touchline by Dean Mariner. So the ball comes loose in amongst all of that. It'll be a Brisbane Broncos ball, 40 out or thereabouts from that northern line here at Campbelltown. 19 and a half left in this first half. Around the grounds, by the way, in the AFL first quarter, St Kilda 15 leads Adelaide 7. Other rugby league, Queensland Cup full-time, Mackay Cutters 46, Tweed Seagulls 18. A-League men full-time, Melbourne City 3, Brisbane Roar 2. First half, Sydney FC, Perth Gloria 0 all. In Super Rugby, it's the Brumbies 7, Fiji and Drua 5. That game in the first half at Canberra Stadium. That's what's happening elsewhere. Back here at Campbelltown, the West Tigers defence is so strong on halfway as the Broncos get this set back underway. Tackled down there is Wilson. Now it's their first set restart going the Broncos' way in this game. As Jensen surrenders, metres short of halfway in the tackle of Samuel Afino and Alex Twal. Dummy half Rogers across to Reynolds. Will feed it across here again to the back rower in Piakura. Tackled 5 inside Tigers territory. Slow getting up here. It's going to be penalty going the Broncos' way.
There's a bit of a face-off here between Piakura and Patrick Herbert, but I think he got him there for a chicken wing of sorts. Just lever in the arm in a uncomfortable position there for Piakura. Picked up straight away. Well, not almost straight away by the referee. So that one went on report.
Was that Herbert?
Herbert was, yeah.
He hasn't played for a while, up until last week. Maybe he's unfamiliar with the rules, even though that's been the rules for a fair while. Chicken wing, 35 out from that southern line. This is, I reckon, the furthest upfield the Broncos have been in this game. Jensen will play it now. Rogers across to Reynolds. Inside ball, Haas. Tries to take on Twal and also Croysow. Play it now 27 out from that southern line. Centre field now Reynolds off to Mam, and now trying to break the line is Piakura on that left edge for the Broncos. It's 8-0 the West Tigers lead so far here, with still about half of this first half to go. And now Wilson, lead by Croysow, offloads back to Rogers, left-hand side they go, Mam across to the corner, and Karapani dives in and scores. Well, talk about it gets on a play. 75% possession through much of this first half so far, and somehow the Broncos produced their first 4 points. Karapani, off the back of that huge pass out wide, makes it 8-4. Kick to come Broncos, 17 left in the half.
Yeah, and this will boost their confidence enormously because their possession has been right against them, the Broncos. They stay on it, and there's a few moans from the crowd on whether or not that tackle was complete. I think it was on Willison perhaps, but he gets the ball away and it shifts out to the left. Ezra Mam throws that last pass there.
Great vision.
Karapani, yeah, great vision to see that Taruva had sort of hedged his bets, come in field a little bit. The pass straight through to his winger, puts him in space, and then Karapani, as he does, great finish in the corner.
Tries him back-to-back games for Josiah Karapani. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Well, that was the very first time the Broncos had actually been in the Tigers 20. First time they had to play the balls, and they get points straight off the bat. I also thought there was a little bit dodgy there through the middle with that tackle on Willison, but it looks like it's going to be all cleared and try confirmed by the bunker as Adam Reynolds is just starting to set up, and the fans behind him, I can hear the boos from here.
25 metres out here, Adam Reynolds, a metre in from the eastern side to make it 8-6 potentially here. Missy on the mount. Hello, Butte, Brett, Darling Zine, and the radiant Ruan. Bless you all, and prayers for Broncos. Love the mount and Missy. Good on you, Missy. And of course, you heard beautiful Andrew Moore earlier as well with Louis and MC in that game. Souths 30, the Dragons 12 at Stadium Australia. Here's Adam Reynolds, and his return from the adductor injury. Lines up this beautiful kick from the sideline, so that'll silence the crowd for a moment anyway. Tigers 8, Broncos 6, 16 left in this first half. NRL Saturday continues here on ABC Sport. Off the SMS, Zach, who's a fanatical 8-year-old Bronx fan, says a huge thank you for keeping us up to speed on the game during our long car journey back to Brisbane. Good on you, Zach. I love when we've got young listeners discovering the power of radio and the things we do here. Who says radio's dying? Not me. As long as we've got young fans like Zach listening in, which is fantastic. So, 8-6, the scoreline here at Campbelltown. The Tigers kick us back off, and Arthurs feeds Payne Haas. And he breaks the 10-metre line here. Runs into 3 West Tigers defenders. He's just heaped back there by Terrell May. Play it now, 12 out in the end, as this run comes from Jordan Ricky. 20 out from his own line. The Broncos scoring through Karapani. Earlier it was Taylor May open the scoring in the game for West Tigers. Plus a successful conversion and penalty in this game for the home side. Rogers dummy half now for Brisbane. Feeds it back through centre field. Making the tackle there, Samuela Fainu down there on Xavier Willison. Now comes back left-hand side. Early kick from Ezra Mam from behind the 40, and it's out on the full. So it was only probably a few inches, maybe a foot in it. So it does carry the eastern touchline. So it will be a West Tigers ball here from just, from 37 metres out.
It can be a real fine line when you go for those 40-20s to get the angle right. You obviously want to get it to head to the sideline as quickly as possible so the fullback doesn't get there, but tried to cut off too much angle there, Ezra Mam, and as a result, that's not what you want after points. The Tigers get a chance to attack.
Greg and Nicky listening in Dunsborough and WA. Greg and Nicky, thank you for your text. Go the Tigers, they say. And here is a run up that left-hand side for West Tigers. And it is with Fanua Bolle. That comes across to Luai. And now Dewey feeds it back to his fullback and Jareen Buller. Run down from behind by Piakura. Play it now. 20 out and 20 in eastern side. Croysow across to Terrell May. Stands in the tackle of Rogers and also Piakura. Now we'll play it 12 away from Broncos line. 8-6 is the home side lead here at Campbelltown. Dewey finds Luai. He kicks off the instep. Now it goes over the dead ball line as Arthurs was chasing it. So a restart from 20 and 7 tackles here for the visitors. It's 8-6 6 West Tigers way. 14 left in this first half. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Well, both kicks there from respective halves just didn't find the mark. There's no wind here, so that's definitely not the problem. I think just a little bit of tightness there, just trying to do too much.
Leonard is listening in Albany, New York. Loving the call as I do a little early morning fishing. Good on you, Leonard. Great to hear from you. Back in the action here at Campbelltown. Tackled ball and all down there is the winger and try scorer in Karapani for the Broncos. Now they gain about 12 metres more here through Ezra Mam. Tackled 5 short of the halfway. Rogers scoops off the deck here. Finds his fullback in Arthurs. Ball goes behind the pole in my sort of commentary position here, my commentary eye line. As Shibasaki tackled and plays it now. A big burst through centre field now from Piakura. He'll play at 32 out from West's line. Comes back man. Pass it for to Shibasaki. Not called by Todd Smith. So 20 out here. Last play for the Broncos. It comes to Reynolds. Puts up the crossfield bomb. Macassini has eyes for it. So too the Stags. Back here for his own winger in Mariner. He's tackled 10 metres out from that West Tigers line. Changeover and it remains West Tigers 8, Brisbane Broncos 6. 12:40 left in this first half. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, well, they've been rewarded for their patience, the Brisbane Broncos. Obviously, it's been a huge amount of possession for the Tigers, and they've had to defend down their end of the field quite a lot. But they're patient when they get the ball. They get through their set and then crossfield kick, which was an opportunity, but Macassini did a good job to let it go in the hands of the Brisbane Broncos.
Royce's pass from dummy half bounced out wide there for Suninga Taruva. And now he is playing 30 out from his own line. He's good with Royce and across down here to Royce Hunt off the bench. Speaking of big bodies, play at 7 short of the halfway. Royce hits it while moving and now goes off to Alex Twal, who's dumped in the tackle of Nam and Piakura just inside Broncos territory. Last play as Royce finds Luai. Up goes the left foot kick. Arthurs has eyes for it now. Mariner out there competing in the air with Jareen Buller. Ball comes loose. 6 again West Tigers as Kai Pearce-Paul takes on Shibasaki. No one's there for the offload for the Englishman, and he'll play it now. 8 out from Brisbane's line. Opportunity here for the home side. 8-6 is their lead. Can they add to it? Comes to Dewey. And now Terrell May, Luai, off to Samuel Afonu, who deserves a try with his work so far tonight. Tackled there by Stags. And now Corso goes from dummy half. It's going to be a set restart again. What feels like the 10th time in this game going West Tigers' way. So, I'll play it. 5 out from Brisbane's line. Dummy half, Samuel Afonu. Luai shares it now with Terrell May, and he's collected down there by Ben Tulty. And again, he can't offload, so Todd Smith says it was actually lost. He said it was lost here in the tackle there by West Tigers. So it will be a Brisbane scrum inside that 10-metre area. On that 10-metre line at the northern end of Campbelltown Stadium. West Tigers 8, Brisbane Broncos 6 with 10:50 left to half-time. Ruan Sims on the touchline.
The kick, sprint and chase by Samuel Afinu tonight has been absolutely fantastic. He's the one that actually got involved in that knock-on by the Broncos there and helped get the football back. He is playing out of his skin this year.
I mentioned the set restarts. That is, the number actually is, 7-1 so far. As Dean mentioned earlier, Pat Herbert on report for a chicken wing tackle also in this first half. Brisbane on the attack now. Rogers feeds it across a right-hand side of the park now for Xavier Willison. Starting at 13 tonight in the absence of Patrick Carrigan. Now Payne Haas takes on Guy Pearce-Paul, and also in there is Alex Twal. 5 short of the halfway. Haas has gone down touching his right knee. There's a slight delay in play here at this sold-out Campbelltown Stadium. While the Brisbane front row gets looked at.
Yeah, there was concern from the Tigers markers. They sort of turned around to the referee, threw their hands up in the air, so obviously something happened in the tackle. He's got his hand on his face right now, Payne Haas, so quite a bit of discomfort. Just watching the replay now. Yeah, it's hard to see from this far away. Down low is Royce Hunt. He's trying to sort of hook the legs there of Payne Haas, and it seems to be that's where the injuries occurred.
Michael in Canberra says, good to hear there's a younger listener, even if he follows Brisbane. ABC Radio has got me back in the NRL, being a cricket tragic, missing live sports and the company of your company during winter. Good on you, Michael. Good call, lads, listening from the Crescent Head Caravan Park down from Brisbane for a week. Go the Tigers. There's Neil from Brisbane. Ants from Levine, thank you for your texts. And Mick says, Dad's weekend away, camping on the beach at Rugby Island. All the lads enjoying the call on ABC Sports. Thumbs up. Thank you, Mick. Thumbs up to you as well, the dads at Rugby. Broncos here on the attack with Ben Talty, who was dropped from the grand final team, of course, to make way for Paddy Carrigan last year. Ended the set with a kick from Reynolds, down to the fullback in Jareen Buller. Flares it across to the left-hand side by hand. It comes to Taylor May, who is West's earlier try scorer. And they're still locked in their own 20-metre line here, the West Tigers, as they try and get clear on this gain of a dozen by Taylor May on tackle 3. Croissau. Cross now again for Macassini. He takes a couple of Brisbane tacklers with him. 40 out, he'll play it now for Croissau. Comes short side left to his other co-captain in Jerome Luai. And now again goes Taylor May. Shrugs away one tackler. Back to Jerome Buller. The switch is on here now for Xiaomi Mi. Half break here. Offload back to Jerome Buller. He steps, shares it with Dewey. He explodes away now. Shibasaki chasing. Pass back on the inside. Can they get him? Tell him they're dreaming as Buller scores the try behind the posts. West Tigers 12, Broncos 6. Kick to come for the home side. 8:40 left in this first half. They do it so well in those situations. West Tigers. Jareen Buller scores the try.
Yeah, well, it's the second phase play from the Tigers. They're able to get a late offload and keep the ball alive. Tony May from the left-hand side gets all the way back across, puts it through their hands, and then Sione Finer, who's had a great season himself, he manages to shrug away from a few defenders, get the one-hander, offload back out to Jareen Buller. He throws a beautiful foot pass behind his back to Adam Dewey in space, and then the fullback's there once again to receive the pass with the draw on Jesse Arthurs at the back and score the try for the Tigers in a long-range effort.
That's time to go, Ruan Sims.
Well, in that whole set, the only time someone got at Payne Haas is when Sione Fainu got the ball. That's what actually created that little bit of space on the outside, because that edge defence had to collapse to try and help Payne Haas. He has been limping that whole set of 6. They finally got to him and created something off the back of it. And what about Jareen Buller? The skills on that man. He is such a talent.
He has the mutual option at the Tigers for next year. I think he thinks he's worth a bit more, and certainly he does things like that. He proves it as well. I'm sure plenty of clubs would love to have Jareen Buller in their midst for next year onwards. 7.5 minutes left of the break. Adam Dewey is so far a conversion and a penalty, 2 from 2. He'll take this kick 20 out and about 18 metres in from the eastern side to make it a 14-6 scoreline here at Campbelltown Stadium. Adam Dewey. Mentioned his good form as well. He makes no mistake. Well, the outer banks or the either end banks are packed here at Campbelltown. Everyone's in their seats or out of their seats when they're cheering. It's a great atmosphere. Back-to-back sellout crowds in consecutive weeks. It's 14-6, the West Tigers lead here. Around the grounds in the AFL, what a time there. Secunda 28 leads Adelaide 8. First half A-League men, Sydney FC Perth Gloria still 0-0. In Super Rugby, Fiji and Drua now leads ACT Brumbies 15-7. The netball, it's three-quarter time. Adelaide 42 leads the Melbourne Vixens 40. Earlier, South beat the Dragon 30 points to 12. And the Warriors beat the Titans 28-20. Ball back from the kickoff here with a strong run a strong hit up there from Royce Hunt. He'll play it 20 out. Dummy half Croissau. Across here again to Samuela Fainu. It was actually Sinbin last time these teams met here, round 8 a couple of years ago. They get involved in the middle of the park here for West Tigers. And Royce sets up at dummy half, waits in behind Sione Fainu. Now it comes to the right-hand side. Where we saw Jerome Buller so explosive before scored that last try. Great run from Dewey as well. This time it's Pierce Ball who's tackled. Shed back here to Jerome Luai. On last play here for the Tigers, 5 short of the halfway. Croissau directs it back to the right as up goes the kick from Adam Dewey. Hangs there a fair old while on the wing. And it comes down for Karapani. He's too quick for Kai Pearce-Paul. And Croissant and Sione Frona make the tackle, 25 out. The Broncos go back on the attack. It's 14-6 West Tigers lead. And now it's just great stuff in defence there as Taylor May all over again at Shibasaki. From dummy half goes Ricky. Only gains a quick 8 metres now on the carry. He'll play it 30 out. Dummy half Rogers. Feeds it across left-hand side of the park as Twal makes the tackle down there on Jack Gajewski. So he's off the bench tonight for the Broncos, and we expect to see VJ Semu and Cameron Bukowski on debut for Michael Maguire's men. Last play here for the Broncos. It's a wobbly ball from Reynolds onto the chest of Jareen Buller. He brings it up through centre field here where he's tackled 30 out from his own line. 14-6, the West Tigers lead here. Dean Hallertau, 5.5 left in this half.
Yeah, well, again, that weight of possession that the Tigers have got has really zapped the energy levels of the Broncos. So when they're having their carries, they're fairly one out. The Tigers are putting numbers in tackles because they can afford to, knowing there's no offloads there. So they're just sort of trying to get to half-time at the moment, the Bronx.
Royce our dummy half, midway through the set now for West Tigers, and there is Sione Fainu. He's the oldest brother of the Fainus, the ones playing. 40 out, 20 in. Quite a set restart this time for the West Tigers. He's Royce across to 12, and 12 straightens his run there into 3 Broncos tacklers. Now it's last play, 30 out centre field. Royce back to the right-hand side, the kick from Dewey. Up it goes. Arthurs watches it, launches to 10-metre line. Batted back here for the Tigers, only into the path of Jordan Ricky. And they'll start their next set from there, the Broncos. 7 out from that northern line in front of the posts. 14-6, the West Tigers lead. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, just a quick update for you. Payne Haas was taken off after that try was scored, and he went straight up the tunnel. No further injury news from the Broncos camp. As soon as I get some, I'll pass it on.
I think Arthur's limping as well in back play here for the Broncos, so more concerns for them with that Payne Haas injury, which Ruan mentioned. And now again, Ben Tulty, who scored a try against the Cowboys last week, tackled here 35 out, comes quickly away to Reynolds, and now Mam puts that man through a gap out there, Piakura. Now Shibasaki run down from behind by Croissant, 35 out from West line. Mam lost the pass at dummy half, it went backwards to Reynolds. He kicks for the corner. Bursting up here is Mariner. It was a well-weighted kick from Reynolds, and Mariner scores the try. Under no real pressure. It was just great vision from Adam Reynolds. And Mariner scores his first try of the year. Makes it 14-10. Kick to come, Broncos. 3.5 left to the break, Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, well, he's a master, isn't he, Adam Reynolds, at finding spots. He's one of the best kicks in the game. He picks his spot perfectly there over to his right-hand side to Mariner. But it was nice work to get downfield from the Broncos. They had a little bit of a shift on their left-hand side, and Shibasaki was able to make plenty of metres, which set them up for a fast finishing set. The Tigers sort of moved all their defence to their right to try and cover that break, and as a result, the space was in behind Makasini, which is what Reynolds identified. Come up with that really nice kick, and the Broncos, again, for where they're at possession-wise, they will go into halftime feeling very good about this scoreline.
Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, it was a beautiful kick, and considering how messy the ball was for getting to Adam Reynolds, just the calm and the poise he has when he does get the football in his hands just makes everything so silky smooth. He identified that Jareen Buller did not get on his bike and travel as soon as that ball hit the deck. He was 2 passes away from it. He was never going to be able to cover that much ground. And Dean Mariner didn't panic, just took it cleanly and straight a clean pair of heels to the try line.
Sonia Reynolds here, 25 out and 10 in from the western side. Might have some more news on Payne Haas shortly as well as we approach half-time. So Adam Reynolds lines up this kick here near the western touchline. 1 from 1 so far this evening. And he makes no mistake this time. So 14-12, a 2-point ball game. And a game that's seen still 64% possession, 86% completion for West Tigers as we approach half-time. You're with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims here Saturday, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. A couple of your texts here. Someone asked before about try and find it. We got a few of these. Kelvin says, Buller, ABC Sports team, loving the call while working in Fiji. Just fantastic to get the call on the ABC Listen app. Great Super Saturday. Thank you, Kelvin. 14-12. Tigers lead the Broncos here as we approach half-time. Someone asked about whether Rick from WA said, could Buller be number one for Maroons this year? Yeah, he's Queensland eligible. As it comes back here now for the Broncos, who have seized some momentum in this first half. Minute 49 left. Comes back here to the left-hand side. There is Gajewski again. His third year at his fifth NRL club, Jack Gajewski. Man shows some pace here. Intercepted, batted down there by Patrick Herbert. In the end, batted forward, and he just kicks that ball into the eastern stand here at Campbelltown.
He apologised to the fans that he might have accidentally knocked someone.
Touchline we go. Rewind Sims.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the update that you got there for Payne Haas. Knee pain, no diagnosis. He will not be returning tonight for them. So that is a really big loss because he plays big minutes through the middle and he can break a game open as a front rower.
Already missing 10 of their best players through injury or suspension, and now no Payne Haas tonight as they bring it back here. Broncos with possession, 40 out from West Tigers line. Tackled and playing it now, Xavier Willison. Now Ricky. Big tall back rower. Set restart going Brisbane's way, which is rare. Flat 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Rogers, the Perth boy, across the left-hand side for Reynolds, and now Man. Cut out ball all the way across to Karapani. That's how the first try happened for them. Karapani gets to within 12 of that West Tigers line. Still going, no, he was called back. He was held. Todd Smith definitely called tackle complete, and that was 12 out from West Tigers line. 48 seconds left in the half. Can they find their way in front? 14-12 West Tigers way. Man first receiver. Reynolds back on the inside now for Gajewski. Backs his way into Hunt and Twal, and now he'll play it 13 out in front of the Southern Uprights. Rogers across now for Reynolds. Holds it back on the inside, and now bursting by Ben Tolte. Slams it down. The Broncos are in front. I don't believe it. The Tigers have been so dominant in this first half. The Broncos have lost Payne Haas, and yet the visitors go ahead 16-14, kick to come on the stroke of half-time in Hallertau.
Yeah, when you believe it, it's that little maestro again. Adam Reynolds is right at the centre of it. He gets the ball wide as first receiver, but he immediately starts heading to his right. He starts pinning the ears on the A defender, trying to drag them across, create space back on the inside, which he's able to do, and then Ben Tolte, it's obviously a set play, they've spoken to each other, but Ben Tolte runs a really committed line. He catches the ball out the front, tucks it under, and he just bursts straight through the Tigers' inside defence, is able to drag over Buller across the line. And yeah, as you said, to the shock of the fans and everyone here at the moment, the Broncos will go in front.
Back to the touchline, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, that was a beautiful set play. That's what they call an arrow shape, where you've got a runner inside and outside. But you can only really run that close to the line with a quick play the ball. Excuse me, they dominated that ruck. Oh no, I'm choking. They dominated that ruck. It was fantastic.
Flies or moss down there, Roo, is it getting it?
No, not this time.
Here's Reynolds almost directly in front here. 3 from 3 for him tonight on his return. And the Broncos will have an 18-14 halftime lead here at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. So, as I said, sometimes the scoreboard tells you one story and everything else tells you a different one. The Broncos would be mighty pleased, their coach Michael Maguire, with the fact they have the halftime lead here against run of play for the most part. They've had only 40% possession, so it's certainly improved across the back half of that opening 40. Completions 82% for them, 86% for West Tigers. I mentioned the set restarts. They got the first 8 set restarts of the game or something. So in the end, 1 penalty each. The ruck infringements look like this. It's in fact 7-2 over the course of the game, and Patrick Herbert on report for a chicken wing in that first half as well. And the Brisbane Broncos here, Dean Hallertau, lead 18 points to 14.
Yeah, and you look at those stats and listen to those stats you read out, Spriggy, and you think the Tigers should be in front by much more. Obviously, the weight of possession that we went ad nauseum about, but also the completion rate for the Tigers was a lot higher. The Broncos were able to even things up as the game progressed, or that half sort of went by. Even the run meters, offload second phase, the Broncos were just right there on the spot to capitalise when it counted, and it was all led by by Adam Reynolds, who's returned to the squad. He's just got that ability to slow things down as a half, pick out his options and really execute his skill well. The kick across, the pass back on the inside, he's key to them. Obviously losing Payne Haas is going to be a big gap to fill. Energy-wise, again, talking about that possession, what it does to a defensive team drains the energy. So as the second half goes on, where are those extra energy stores going to come from, considering you've lost your big minute man in the middle?
Yeah, it could be a big task for someone like VJ Semu on debut alongside Cameron Bukowski, who will be doing some work at dummy half, one would think. They missed 16 tackles in the first half, the Broncos, and still lead by 4 points at the break. So 18-14 the scoreline, as you heard there. Around the grounds quickly in the AFL, second quarter underway. St Kilda 41 leads Adelaide 21. In Super Rugby, halftime in Canberra, Fiji and Drua 22 leads the Brumbies 7. Super Netball fourth quarter, Melbourne Vixens 49 now leads Adelaide Thunderbirds 46. In the A-League men first half, Sydney FC Perth Glory are still 0-0. I mentioned earlier the Warriors beat the Titans 28-20 despite a late comeback from Gold Coast. In there it was 22-0 at half time the Warriors way, so they keep off that late fight back there from the Gold Coast Titans. And earlier it was South 30, St George Illawarra 12, and Luke Lewis gave 3 points to Latrell Mitchell, 2 to Cody Walker. In fact, Louis gave 3 to 1 all to Latrell Mitchell. 3 Latrell Mitchell, 2 to Cody Walker and 1 to Matt Duffy in the ABC Player of the Year. Ruan Sims, your thoughts on the opening half here at Campbelltown?
Well, it was definitely, the first 20-odd minutes was definitely dominated by the Tigers. I thought that their field position and their defence was fantastic. But what allowed the Broncos to get back into it is that they stepped away from what was working. They weren't winning that initial contact. They were allowing the Broncos to get a quicker play the ball. And actually, at half-time, the Broncos had a faster play the ball speed than the Tigers did. So even though they missed a few more tackles, they really started to claw their way back towards that half-time. Half-time's probably come at a good time for them. They'll recharge the batteries and try and come out firing. But it is going to be a tough task missing someone of the calibre of Payne Haas.
That's too right. Thanks, Drew. So tries in that first half. Taylor May in the 9th minute and Jareen Buller in the 31st for West Tigers. Adam Dewey, 2 conversions, 1 penalty, 3 out of 3. And for the Brisbane Broncos, Karapani in the 22nd, Mariner in the 36th, and Ben Tulty the last minute before half-time. Adam Reynolds, 3 from 3. 18-14 is the Broncos lead. Couple of your texts very quickly, 0467 920 222. Paul in Wollongong says, "Cy, Springy Dean and Rowan, I thought the Campbelltown curse was over after last week. Maybe I was wrong." Yeah, I mentioned what they lost 5 in a row before last week, the Tigers at this ground, and 15 of their last 17 at Campbelltown. The Broncos, by the way, have only lost here twice, in 91 and 92 against the Magpies.
Gary didn't play in that game.
There you go, Gary Bukowski, father of Cameron. There was just a quirk there with that, the fact that he's debuting here at Campbelltown. But thank you for the clarification there, Dean Hallertau. Keep your texts coming, 0467 920 222. Right now, it's time for ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Iran's military says it will close the Strait of Hormuz again in response to the US maintaining its blockade of Iranian ports and ships. Iran's military is resuming its control of the strait. It says the Fars news agency and other Iranian news agencies are citing a statement from the Revolutionary Guards that the strait will return to its previous state with armed forces controlling the area. The statement accuses the US of piracy, saying that its so-called blockade amounts to maritime robbery. It comes as a convoy of 8 shipping vessels was reportedly transiting the waterway, and it's unclear how many have achieved that. Earlier today, the Prime Minister said there'll be a second meeting with world leaders in London next week in order to discuss joint efforts to protect the Strait of Hormuz. Political reporter Samantha Dick has more.
During last night's virtual meeting with nearly 50 world leaders, Anthony Albanese and others expressed cautious optimism that a ceasefire in Lebanon will hold and that the Strait of Hormuz will remain open to commercial shipping vessels. The Prime Minister says he did not commit to sending military assets to protect the strait at this stage.
Australia obviously is a long way away from the strait compared with European nations.
Mr Albanese says his government will consider any requests at next week's meeting in London.
A man has been charged after allegedly failing to pay more than $2,000 worth of fuel across the Northern Rivers region of New South Wales. Police allege the 29-year-old refuelled his car on 15 occasions across 6 service stations in Lismore and West Ballina between February the 1st and April the 13th. They say he used stolen registration plates to refuel and has been charged with 15 counts of dishonestly obtaining property by deception, along with 2 counts of unlawfully possessing number plates. He's been granted conditional bail and will appear at Lismore Local Court on May the 18th. There have been 2 deaths in Western Australian prisons over the past 24 hours. Last night, a 54-year-old man was found dead at the Darwin work camp in the Wheatbelt, while this morning a 40-year-old Aboriginal woman died at the Bandyup Women's Prison. Corrective services say there are no suspicious circumstances surrounding either death. A person has died after a car mounted a curb and struck 2 pedestrians outside the Melbourne Showgrounds in the city's northwest. Police say the incident occurred in Ascot Vale this afternoon just before 5 o'clock. A second person has been taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. A man has been arrested over the incident and will be interviewed by police. The 2-day Supernova Comic Con and gaming event is being held at the showgrounds this weekend. Victoria Police says its new model of deploying protective services officers will allow them to have officers where they're needed most. From tomorrow, PSOs will ride the trains between 119 smaller and less busy stations rather than be solely based on platforms. The force says it allows PSOs to deal with incidents as they occur aboard carriages and also free up officers for more targeted and intelligence-informed deployments. Northwest Metro Assistant Commissioner Mick Hermans says the new model allows for greater flexibility.
The changes reflect the reality that some stations experience more crime and antisocial behaviour than others, and in fact a large portion of our stations report very little crime or indeed have more significant issues during the day rather than later in the evening.
The European Union is threatening to ban Australian tea tree oil from its market. The EU suspects tea tree oil may interfere with fertility and is considering reclassifying it as a Category 1B reproductive toxin. If the changes go ahead, it could seriously affect a $40 million export market, with the EU accounting for around 30% of that. Industry leaders warn the move could potentially trigger a global collapse in the demand for Australian tea tree oil. Turning to sport, and Christian Petrarca has started for the Gold Coast Suns on his return from injury, kicking 3 goals and finishing with 25 disposals in his side's tight 9-point win over Essendon at Carrara. The Bombers, fresh from a drought-breaking win last week against Melbourne, Petrarca's old side led by 12 points during the third quarter, but the Suns rallied to claim a 17-17, 119 to 17-8, 110 victory. In today's other completed game, Hawthorn came from behind to beat Port Adelaide in a tight one at Docklands, 89-86. ABC News.
Join us on Anzac Day across the ABC. From Gallipoli and Villers-Bretonneux to the dawn service and march in your capital city.
We will remember them.
On ABC Radio, TV and iView and on ABC Listen.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Last play, West Tigers, 30 out from Brisbane's line. Comes to Adam Dewey, ends the set with a kick, high up in the air. Arthur's the fullback will launch. He did have, it's been plucked clear and fed back from Samuela Fainu to Taylor May, who scores in the corner. Great competing in the air from the back rower. Samuela Fainu had the better of Jesse Arthurs in size and strength, and he offloads back to Taylor May for a pretty simple try in the end in that northwestern corner of Campbelltown Stadium. And now Willison, lead by Coruscant, offloads back to Rogers. Left-hand side they go, man across to the corner, and Karapani dives in and scores. Well, talk about against run of play. 75% possession through much of this first half so far, and somehow the Broncos produced their first 4 points. And now again goes Taylor May, shrugs away one tackler, back to Jareen Buller. The switch is on here now for Xiaomi Fainu. Half break here, offload back to Jareen Buller. He step shares it with Dewey. He explodes away now. Shibasaki chasing, pass back on the inside. Can they get him? Tell him they're dreaming as Buller scores the try behind the posts. Rogers across now for Reynolds. Holds it back on the inside and now bursting by Ben Tolte. Slams it down. The Broncos are in front.
Do you love rugby league?
ABC Sports coverage of the NRL Premiership on your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
The sounds there of the first half at Campbelltown Stadium. The Brisbane Broncos 18, West Tigers 14. You're with me, Brett Sprigg, alongside Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims here for our final game, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. After earlier, South beat the Dragons, who are now, 0-7, and now 11 straight losses for Shane Flanagan's men. And much earlier, the Warriors 28 beat the Gold Coast Titans 20. Hi, Broncos and Tigers. That 6 again rule against the Broncos is ridiculous and so unfair. Spoiling our NRL, says Jude Coleman. Yes, I'm a Broncos member. Just want a fair game. Thank you, Jude, for your declaration of bias there anyway. But I know a lot of fans feel that way. Lachlan says, up at 3:30 a.m. to listen to the Tigers in Fernie, Canada. Of course, the Tigers come good this year when I'm away. Thank you, Lachlan. West Tigers have a beautiful victory, says Rowdy Andy. And the gear steward says, no pain for the Broncos. Keep the stampede coming. Yeah, how much will that cost them in the second half, do you reckon, Dean, in the absence of Payne Haas?
Yeah, like I said before half-time, it's just the energy reserves. They have to do a lot of defending that first half, and he's a man responsible for carrying a lot of the load through the middle of the park. So you're asking guys that don't have much minutes or guys that are inexperienced to come up and fill that void. So that's going to probably be the biggest squeeze for them.
Hello, boys. Chris in Mount Isa here. Far out. They're still in it again. Up the mighty Broncos. We should not be leading, but we are fully funny sometimes. Have a great call. Good on you, Chris. Great to hear from you. Kevin Balcombe Hills, thank you for your texts. Loving the call, team. Beautiful, cool night. Sitting out in the dark with my telescope, enjoying the game. Life is pretty good, says Rob in the Hunter Valley. It sounds like it, Rob. Glad you're enjoying your Saturday. And Jethro at Maryvale says, are the Broncos playing with a pair of skis? What does that mean? Are they slipping over? I haven't noticed anything like that, if that's what you're referring to, Jethro. Gary and Jennifer listening in Caloundra, listening to you. A brilliant commentary tonight. Go the Broncos. Thank you, Gary and Jennifer in Caloundra, and thank you those who have sent their texts. Curl in Mackay says Adam Dewey could be an ideal selection for New South Wales 6-man bench.
Yeah, he's got so much value, doesn't he? Like, obviously he's playing 7. He probably doesn't appear to be a typical 7, but he's such a good football player and can probably cover a lot of positions.
Well, he did. Last year he played at centre, 6, 7 and lock.
Started his career as a 1 at the Bunnies as well.
Yes.
So he's a capable guy.
So we'll get back to Ruan Sims on the touchline shortly as well, who's just getting word from both camps at half-time. 18-14 the Broncos lead here. Michael Maguire would love this, given they are down plenty of their big names and have also lost one during this game, Payne Haas, to some knee soreness. Just by the way, in case you mentioned, Michael Karayanis mentioned towards the tail end of that game at Stadium Australia that Manly are concerned about Tom Trbojevic. They're planning to have him for as much as, or not have him for as much as 2 months. So that's certainly a very serious hamstring concern there for Manly's captain and fullback. We'll discuss more about that and the earlier games and the round so far, and the games still to come in our post-game wrap-up here tonight at Campbelltown. Back underway, the Tigers kick off, and Arthur's the fullback, devoid of any option there to hit up, takes a hit up himself here, and he's clobbered by Samuel Afena, who'll play it 20 out from his own line. Through centre field they come here, the Broncos, with one of their first half try scorers in Ben Tulty, who'll play it now 25 out. So Rogers across now to Gajewski, expecting to see Vijay Semu and Cameron Bukowski off the bench in their second half for the Broncos as well. There's an angle run now from Xavier Willison. Up over the 40 he goes, tackled 8 short of the halfway in this first set of the second half. Broncos 18, Tigers 14. Mam shows good pace. And he's brought down by Twal and Dewey, who look so alike sometimes, the internationals for Lebanon. Now it goes down to Dewey. High kick into the set, goes down towards that 10-metre line. And taken out there by Macassini. And he is brought down 20 out centre field now for West Tigers. Their first set of this second half, the home side trailing 18-14. And now Taruba tries to step his way past Ben Tulty, who will play it now 30 out centre field. On tackle 2 now for West Tigers. Corey South gets out dummy half himself. Can't offload to anyone too effective there. Ball egg. So it's played now to Dewey at dummy half. He does go himself from that position. Over halfway now. Shed back to Samuela Fainu. In fact, it's Sione Fainu out there. 40 out centre field. A couple of plays left this set for West Tigers. Corey South links up with that man in Alex Twal. And he'll play it now 30 out centre field. In fact, a good post-contact step there on Rogers. He'll play it now for Karoisau. To exit to the right now for Adam Dewey. Up goes the kick. They're all watching it. Bursting up Arthurs. Got in the way of his teammate. It's going to be 6 more now for the Tigers. Came off Arthurs. Back into the path of the man who's got the footy down there in Herbert. Will play it for Karoisau. Sent out from Brisbane's line. Across the goalpost now by hand to Dewey. Now back to Royce Hunt. He steps inside that 10-metre line. And now brought down the tackle of Ricky and Willison. Karoisau comes open side right. Shares it with Dewey. Inside ball now to Kai Pearce. Paul. And he's 5 away from the Brisbane Broncos line. Can they get the first try this second half? The Tigers. Karoisau, no look pass and no look received there as well from Alex Twal. As it comes forward off their lock forward. So it will be 2.5 played in this second half. Broncos 18, Tigers 14. No change to our halftime score. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, this is what we're seeing from the Tigers a few weeks back against the Bunnies. We're going to see a captain's challenge here. So
Grant, captain's challenge from Tigers.
Go
The initial touch going backwards and then a knock on. They're challenging.
Okay. So it wasn't so much the lost ball from Alex Twal, but Todd Smith saw a knock on there.
Ball for Alex Twal goes backwards. Just seeing now if there's a knock on of Xavier Willison after this.
Okay.
There's a hand from Willison after 12 touches it, I believe.
So this one's backwards here off Alex Twal. There's a knock on then from Xavier
There we
Willison.
go.
Just
There's a
seeing
finger from Wilson. So good challenge. A couple of good challenges so far in this game. Touchline we go. Ruan Sims.
Who says you can't trust middle forwards with challenges? Good call there by Alex Twal. But just some quick halftime messages. Benji was pretty happy with his team, even though they went in behind the scoreboard. He wants them to stick to their plan, be positive and be upbeat. For the Broncos, Madge just said, be patient. If we get equal possession and we control the ball, things will turn our way like they did at the back end of that first half. Stay in the grind.
Thank you, Roo. By the way, apologies, Jethro. I mentioned the 2 skis. Yeah, Gajewski and Mikowski. They're playing with skis, yes. No snow here, though, at Campbelltown. Luai comes around here, left-hand side. Comes back on the inside now for Doreen Buller, who slams it down the corner. West Tigers score from the scrum and level things up here at Campbelltown. 18 points all. Kick to come. 3.5 played here in the second half. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, we spoke earlier about Doreen Buller and testing the open market at some point, but he's certainly stating the case for his value going up tonight. He's been pretty electric, and this was off a scrum where there wasn't much doing on the... They threw a bit of a trick play on, and Doreen Buller looped all the way from first receive all the way around the back of the centre there, and Jerome Luai throws a really nice pass, and it was still 3 on 2, or 2 on 3 from the Tigers' point of view. He just takes a left foot step and
Under review.
Let's go and review here.
Get the lead in now, lead up to the try.
Okay.
Maybe this is why he cut through so easily in the end.
He does do it easily sometimes. But we'll see on the replay, I reckon, and see whether...
Without the ball here, there was no defensive decision by Adam Reynolds, and Taylor May just takes out Adam Reynolds. This is a penalty.
That will be, not a second try for Doreen Buller, and penalty Brisbane. And it will remain 18-14 to the good of the Broncos. Penalty count 2-1 in this game, by the way, with the Broncos receiving their second infringement.
Well, there's a lot of booing going on, but it was a pretty obvious obstruction there.
Keep your text coming, 0467 920 222. And there again goes Jordan Ricky up that right edge on the eastern side of Campbelltown Stadium. Rogers at dummy half. Share it across here to Xavier Willison. 5 inside West Tigers territory. Short side right they come now as Arthurs receives that ball from Rogers. And Jesse Arthurs, the de facto fullback, of course, in the absence of Reece Walsh. It's only his third game back, and now playing at number 1. Jesse Arthurs, who is sort of out of favour for large chunks of last year. They've got a lot of skilled outside backs, don't they, the Brisbane Broncos? 40 outs in a field. The ball comes here from Reynolds back on the inside to Piakura. And brought down now 40 out and 20 in last play for the Broncos, who lead 18 points to 14. Rogers fires it right to Reynolds. Up goes the kick, high towards the corner. Macassini, and crashing into him out there was Dean Mariner. But it's won by Macassini, who'll play it metre out from his own line on that northern goal line of Campbelltown Stadium. Broncos defence drags back our ball carrier here. And getting up to play it is Taylor May there for West Tigers. So still 18 points to 14. No change to our halftime score. That's the Broncos lead. 4.5 played in this second half. As Croissant off to Taruva. A couple of Fiji internationals combined there. Through centre field they go here again now with Jareem Buller. And he's tackled 25 out. Last play here for West Tigers. Playing it slowly here, Croissant. Cross here again to Adam Dewey. Shows some dash and now a kick. Down through centre field, it bounces for Jesse Arthurs. Broncos get the ball back here, and they'll start their next set. 37 out from their own line. In fact, he's dragged all the way back here, Arthurs, to the 30-metre line. Strong work down there by Sione Fainu and also Alex Twal. Reynolds at dummy half, directs it across here to Josiah Karapani, who was their first try scorer tonight for the Broncos. Play it 40 out here on tackle 2. Reynolds back to the left-hand side. Shibasaki had a great year last year. 60 career games, 30 of those at the Broncos so far. 5 short of the halfway. Rogers now goes across here, open side right, and Sione Fainu again lays the tackle down there, and opposite number in Ben Tulty. Comes back to Reynolds. Couple of plays left. Man, quick pass to the right-hand side again. Mariner, and no support there further on the outside. The last play Broncos, 30 out, 10 in from the eastern side, as it's fed back to Reynolds on last play. Running kick goes down toward the goal there, taken by the fullback in Jareem Buller. Fends away Ezra Mann, has some pace on the outside here, but run down by by Staggs, I beg your pardon, and he's very slow getting up here, Jareem Buller. So there'll be a break in play here.
He hit the ground really hard.
Was it one of those ones where he's carrying the ball? Is it shoulder or one of those?
Yeah, it might be like, so Staggs chases him down, and then the speed they're going, and then with Staggs landing on top of him, nothing untoward in the tackle. Yeah, the arm's outstretched, and
the left arm.
Yeah, the non-ball carrying arm is outstretched because he gets that fend away, and quite a bit of discomfort there, the trainer out there on the field.
Let's head down to the touchline. Ruan Sims.
Well, that's the second time in as many tackles he's come up pretty sore after contact. There was nothing illegal in it as play gets back underway for the Tigers.
Okay, thank you, Roo. Graham in a very dry Musselbrook says, is it raining? Now, no rain here. We had an hour-long lightning delay at the SCG last night in the AFL. That was just... what's happened now twice in... some of you might say the AFL's a bit soft, but that's happened now twice in 2 AFL games in Sydney. Here they go, centre field. Terrell May for West Tigers, tackled 7 short of the halfway. On tackle 3 as Jareem Buller is coming from the field with a left shoulder complaint. So concerns here for the West Tigers, who still trail 18-14 at the hands of the Brisbane Broncos. Dummy half Croissant, forward of halfway. Finds Dewey. He ends the set with a kick down on the chest of Arthurs. And the Broncos fullback has some open space there before he's met by Twal. He'll play at 17 out from his own line in front of the Leagues Club at the southern end of Campbelltown Stadium. Shibasaki on that left edge. There's a swarm of Tigers defenders just covering him. And he'll be playing at 25 out in fact, Buller's staying out there for now as this set continues. Mann gains a quick 6 or 7. 40 out, 20 in, western side in front of us. Rogers dummy half. Now across here to Jack Gajewski. And he's tackled 5 short of the halfway. Rogers across open side right again for Tulty. He's been busy other side of half time here for the Broncos. Has that try as well. And tackled 40 out from West line. Last play for the visitors. Rogers keeps going short side right. Reynolds hurried kick. It wasn't quite as decisive from the halfback. It goes down onto the wing where it is taken out there, and now some overzealous defence It's played out there by Taylor May, and they get things back underway here at West Tigers. 30 back at 25 out from their own line at northern end. Sione Fainu runs into 3 Broncos defenders here. So again, no change to our halftime score. 8 minutes played second half. Still 18-14 in the Broncos' favour. Croatia after 12. Hits the deck 5 short of halfway now. With a couple of tackles left in this set. Croatia finds Dewey. Almost shaped the kick earlier, then goes the pass across to Kai Pearce-Paul. And the Englishman is 5 inside Broncos territory. On last play for West Tigers, Croatia to Luai, couple of steps and a high left foot kick down towards Arthurs. Dewey is chasing it through as well, but Arthurs takes the catch. Has support on the outside there with Karapani, but Arthurs is run down by Patrick Herbert and he's lost the ball. So Herbert forces the error, and at the same time, Cameron Bukowski enters the game for the Brisbane Broncos. So interchange is being made. Cameron Bukowski, I mentioned, 20 years of age, highly touted, making his NRL debut. He's Queensland born and raised, but his dad played for the Magpies here at Campbelltown. So there you go. Be a scrum feed, West Tigers 20 out from that southern line. It's still 18-14 Brisbane's lead. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Oh, you took my thunder. That's exactly what I was going to say. Bukowski making his debut straight out there and straight into the fire because he's going to have to come up some big defence.
West Tigers scrum feed here, left-hand side, as Taylor May on a jinking run. He's tackled 13 short of that southern line now, 20 in from the far side. Croatia sets up from dummy half and finds the running man there in Terrell May. He busts one tackle, now a second, that helps himself. Oh, is he there? Todd Smith says perhaps not.
Tackle 2, just get Bermy's held up, tackle 2.
But they'll still have most of the set here, 10 metres out from that Brisbane line. That was an absolutely barnstorming run from Terrell May.
Yeah, not for the first time either tonight. He's proven a handful once he pins the ears and just tries to get between defenders. And
up at this stage,
Tell you when.
he's given it up himself.
all appears to stay up, and he's now held.
That's all right, so we'll play it 10 out here from Brisbane's line. Can they level things up? There was a disallowed Jareen Buller try earlier in this second half, thanks to a Taylor May obstruction. It remains 18-14, but for how long? Croatia to Dewey. Inside ball down to Kai Pearce-Paul. He's to within 7 metres of that Broncos line in front of the uprights. Croatia waits at dummy half. 10 minutes gone second half. Goes open side left. Across to Dewey again. Off here to Terrell May. Do it again, Terrell. Fends away one there. He's now collared by Xavier Willison. He'll play it 10 metres away. 20 in from that far side of Campbelltown. As Croatia to Luai again. The co-captains combine. Now off to Dewey, low pass, now he goes out wide to Sunia Taruva, steps in field taken by Ezra Mann, and also in there is Karapani. So 10 out, 10 in, western side now for West Tigers, last play. Dummy half, Herbert, across to Luai, running kick goes across the goal mouth, up there it's fed back for Jareen Buller, and Mariner tries to nail Taylor May. Taylor May still going, offloads a little feebly here at the back, it's Luai, pushes it back to Croatia, he kicks in behind the goals, fielded by Arthurs. He's nailed by Croatia with a follow-up near the padding of the goalposts. But Brisbane will come up with it now, a metre out from their own line. Great work by Arthurs. Got back in the field of play, but he got an absolute rib rattler from Avi Croatia. And now Shimasaki's dragged all the way back for a line dropout.
Yeah, well, what about that shot firstly on Arthurs, but then immediately following that, the Tigers really get a sense that they need to up the ante with their defence. They get off the line really quickly and they drag him back into the end goal and force the repeat set. But there's been a lot of energy shifts in this second half already. It was really the Broncos dominating field position, but now the Tigers have got a bit of wind behind their sails.
18-14 remains the Brisbane lead here at Campbelltown. You're with Brett Sprague, Dean Hallertau, Ruan Sims. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Short dropout taken here. Batted back now for the Broncos inside their own 10-metre line, and pouncing on it there is Brendan Perkura. He'll play it metre out from his own line. Mam deep in that southwestern corner of the ground. And so now it's Shibasaki, 13 out from that southern line. Mention what a year he had last week. Debuted for Queensland and Australia. Goes now Karapani, 15 out from that southern line. Dummy half Bukowski. And now a break made here by the Broncos, and now it's been lost. So it was, fed back to the young fella at the end of that break, and Bukowski spills the ball just near the halfway.
It was a beautiful run by Willison. He just Smashes straight through the centre there of the Tigers, and he gets the arm free. There was a very catchable ball there for the young debutant. Unfortunately, just has a snap at it and gives the Tigers back possession.
Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
He's had a little bit of a rough trot. Terrell May identified him immediately in the defensive line, ran over the top of him. A little knock on there, so get those jitters out of the way, young fella, and get right into it.
Scrum feed 48 for West Tigers. Croyce out finds Taruva. Got one bump and he still kept going there, Taruva. And now he's stopped 30 out, 20 in Western side. It's going to be a set restart here on play one for West Tigers. Attacking Brisbane's line as Alex 12 helps himself to 7 or 8 more metres here. 22 out from that southern line. Croyce out only half. Open side left here again now as it's ripped away from Vijay Semu, and now Adam Dewey trying to go the shake and bake there on Reynolds, and now he's brought down by Reynolds and also Jensen. Play at 15 out, 20 in from that far side. Dewey to Croyce out. No look pass from Dunny half back to Semu. So beg pardon, it's Latu Fino, I should say, the other 18 there for West Tigers. Now it comes back to Terrell May, and he stopped 5 away from that southern line. Croyce out, across to Latu Fino, and now breaking his way through. Fed back with a flick pass from Samuel Fino to Api Croyce, who scores a try. Samuel Fino has had just about every try involvement. He's having a phenomenal year. It's 18 points all kick to come Tigers, 14 gone second half.
Yeah, well, you nailed it, Spriggy. He's become their real focal point in attack, and the change of angle, he cuts back against the grain a little bit there, Finu, and manages to get himself between some Broncos players, get the arms free. He's such a tall man, really long levers. You mentioned Latu Finu's on the field. He feeds the ball out to Luai, and it's that hard run and unders line to cut back against the grain. And the one-hander out the back to the skipper there in Api Croyce. It's a beautiful pass, and he's been awesome for the Tigers again tonight. Api Croyce deserved the try.
Tries in back-to-back games for Api Croyce. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, that was beautiful movement from the Tigers, and it wouldn't have worked unless Jerome Luai got right to Adam Reynolds. He got to the 3 defender, that 3rd defender off the edge. He forced him to play at him, created that space on the outside. That's where Fainu went straight through, and Api Croyce doing what he does best, backing up. He put his body on the line in defence. He deserved that 4-pointer.
Adam Dewey will line up the kick here. Slight angle left-hand side of the post, only 10 metres out to put the Tigers back in front, 20 points to 18. Still 25 minutes left in the game here at Campbelltown. Bart from Rocky asked, did the Broncos have an extra man on the field for a second? Their officials were screaming and get a player off. Did you see that down there, Rue, at all, with the Broncos?
No, they didn't have an extra man. They just wanted him off quickly because they wanted to do the interchange.
Yeah, fair enough, to bring Bukowski on. So here is Adam Dewey. 3 from 3 so far tonight. Make it 4 out of 4. And the Tigers go back ahead in their quest for 4 straight victories. 0467920222. Wayne from Mildura asks, fellas, what's happened to Alex 12? He seems to be making more contact metres this season than in previous seasons. I think every aspect of his game is better than in previous seasons.
He's always been physically so fit and strong. I think probably he's just been given more and more licence from Benji Marshall, and he's promoting the ball a lot more as well. He's got an offload. He'll tip onto his middle partners as well. So there's a lot of extra dimensions to his game.
And more than a cult hero, is in amazing form, Alex 12. Had a new contract for 3 more years at West Tigers. 20 points to 18. The Tigers back in front here at Campbelltown. You're with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims. A couple of World Cup winners with me here on ABC Sport. 15 metres out here from their own line. Croyce feeds it back here again to Samuel Fainu, and he'll play it 20 out centre field. Croyce out. Again, they go across this time for Dewey. Took on Man head-on and Shibasaki as well. And he's on his own 30-metre line now for West Tigers. Croyce out, dummy half. Speaking of 12, there he is, and he runs straight to Bukowski. Gains another 8 metres here. Croyce out. Across to his left, and now it's fed wide. Latu Fainu to the outside they go. Jareen Buller wide here for Makasini, and he took on 2 Brisbane defenders. Out there was Staggs. He'll stop him. 40 out from that southern line. Last play, Tigers. Up goes the kick. kick from Luai to end the set. And parking himself under it. It's come back off May, has it? No. Knock on, says ref Todd Smith. Change over. And it will be a Brisbane Broncos ball, 20 out from their own line in front of the league southern end of Campbelltown Stadium. 17 gone, 23 left in this second half, but they're going to challenge it.
Captain's challenge from the Tigers. Kick was after tackle 5. On-field ruling, knock on.
What do they do here? Because no one had finished with the ball. He just called a knock on, and I thought it went back. You called it back as well, Sprigg. I thought it went back off the catch there from Taylor May. So it'll be interesting to see where this ends up.
In the hands of Grant Joey Atkins in the bunker.
He might be talking about it right now.
So it comes off.
Looks like maybe Finu touches him.
Okay, unsuccessful to knock on.
See it on the
Replay issues there.
G'day fellas at Ballina. Just caught a nice catch of whiting. Shout out to Batto. Go the Tigers and Pom Bob on my travels. Good on you. To Ruan Sims on the touchline shortly as the Broncos bring it back away from that West Tigers knock-on. Challenge unsuccessful. And it's still 20 points to 18. The West Tigers lead here at a rather cool and crisp Campbelltown Stadium. Dummy half Bukowski. Short pass into the right-hand side and there brought back and the tackle is Willison. Play at 40 outs in the field. Bukowski. Across now again to Corey Jensen. And recently passed 150 career games. It's that restart now for the Broncos, so it's come back here to Hayes Perham, in fact. So that's their fourth bench of use. So it won't be VJ Samuel. It's Hayes Perham who's out there making his first appearance as a Bronco and almost lost down there by Jack Gajewski. 35 out on the second last play here for the Broncos. Reynolds across to Mam. Flat ball for Shibasaki. It was forward. It wasn't flat, it was forward. Thank you, Todd. And Shibasaki explodes away for the corner. So Hayes Perham, by the way, this is a good one, Rube. It's his first game for the Broncos. He last played in 2023. Of course, former Warrior, Eel and Bulldog. Did his ACL last year, so it's his club debut tonight for the Broncos, Hayes Perham.
Yeah, it's good to see him back from that and out there playing. He's actually gone on for Jesse Arthurs, who is now currently walking straight up the tunnel to get some attention. That right calf or ankle Achilles area is heavily strapped under his sock, so I'll try and get a few more tidbits of information to see what's going on.
Good on you, Roo. 18 gone, 22 left in this second half. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Game on the line here at Campbelltown. Tigers lead by 2. West on the attack here. Play to Karoisau. Releases Taylor May. He scored the first try of the game and he meets his demise. 5 metres short of the halfway in centre field now for West Tigers. Karoisau across now again for Sudinger Taruva. Tackled by Gajewski and also Xavier Willison inside Broncos territory. Karoisau spins it across left-hand side. Latu Whanu the inside ball here now again to Terrell May. Offloads back here to Latu Whanu and he's collared pretty high there by Jack Gajewski. Too high, in fact, says referee Todd Smith. So penalty West Tigers. He's still pleading his case here, Jack Gajewski, but it will be penalty West Tigers with 21 minutes left on the clock here. 20 points to 18 their lead.
A bit of deliberation here, but they're going for the touchline. The Tigers, they'll look to roll on. They've struggled a little bit inside 20 metres this evening. They've been good from afar. Let's see what kind of structure they can throw at the Broncos.
Penalty count 2 all in the game here as Samuel Whanu got a tap quickly here. 15 out from that Brisbane line. Taylor May dummy half. Fires it across to Jerome Luai. Now Alex Twal straight in his run here into Gajewski and Bukowski. It's lots of skis out there indeed. Karoisau across to the right-hand side. Terrell May gets inside 10. Up against the uprights at that south end of the ground. Play it here for Karoisau. Has been tireless in this game as ever. Off to Adam Dewey. Inside ball now to Kai Pearce-Paul and he's almost there. He's 2.5 metres shy, right-hand side of the uprights. Couple of plays left this set for West Tigers. Karoisau, a dummy now released there to Dewey. And now Luai runs the footy himself, but he's stopped on the chase there from Reynolds. And he's lost it. So it will be a Brisbane possession here. 10 metres out from that southern line. It's the Tigers who lead 20 points to 18. 20 gone, 20 left in this second half. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, unfortunately Jerome Luai was claiming that he didn't lose it in contact. He said he wanted to challenge it. He said it was stripped, and it actually was. However, they lost their challenge from that silly one, or frivolous one, a little earlier.
Frivolous. Yeah. It's never good, is it?
It wasn't a middle forward doing it, Roo.
Definitely was not. No.
Scrum feed Brisbane. Bukowski spins the pass left-hand side here for Josiah Karapani. Tries in back-to-back games for him with his earlier one in the first half. And now Shibasaki is forced back there by Kai Pearce-Paul. 15 metres out, 20 in from the western side of Campbelltown Stadium. Bukowski goes blindside left now for Ezra Mam. Dewey was all over him, and so too Kai Pearce-Paul. A couple of plays left in this set now for the Broncos. Bukowski, low it goes in there for Pekura. Stop 30 out. Bukowski sets up in behind him. Takes off from dummy half and now shares it with Mam. And this will be last play. 8 minutes short of the halfway for Ezra Mam. Rolls it back there for Bukowski. Open side right to Reynolds. He tries to just probe that ball down towards that northeastern corner. But it's there for Makasini. And he's brought down by Staggs. 33 out from his own line. Tigers position well here. 20 points to 18 their lead with 18:40 left in the game. And now a round of applause down there for Alex Twal, who takes a seat on the bench. Tigers just rumble upfield here as Kajewski makes the tackle on the fullback Jareen Buller. Taruva takes on Jensen, and he's just inside Brisbane territory. 45 from that goal line southern end. Back to Terrell May. Another good carry from him before he's tackled by Piakura. Play it for Karoisau. Comes to Dewey. End of the set. Up goes the kick. Watch down there by Kai Pearce-Paul. It's might have come forward off him, actually. Shibasaki dives onto it there for the Broncos. So it's their ball either way, deep in that southwestern corner of the ground. Not far away from you, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to gather a little bit more information on Jesse Arthurs. We've heard absolutely nothing yet from the Broncos camp, but just watch the Tigers here line up and bring out the baseball bats to try and keep the Broncos down here.
Okay, back to you shortly, Ruth. Thank you for that. Here go the Broncos out of their own end, and Ricky forced back in there by Samuela Fainu and Jerome Luai on the 10-metre line. Reynolds at dummy half, and then again, strong defence from West Tigers on this Brisbane yardage set. Latu Fainu drags them down. 20 points to 18 remains the West Tigers lead here. Bukowski inside his own red zone, fires a pass to Reynolds. Attempts, well, it could be a 20-40 here. Oh, it's Buller just keeps it alive. 2020, yeah. So Buller keeps it alive here, gets it back in the field of play. 25 out from his own line is where they'll start their next set, the West Tigers. Jerome Luai dummy half. Plenty of space open side right. So 20 points to 18, still the West Tigers lead here. 17 left in this second half. You're with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertau and Ruan Sims as they go through centre field. And Taylor May is pinned. Play it now for Karoisau. He's got hands on hips at dummy half. He is certainly feeling the fatigue of this game. It's been fast and frantic for the most part, hasn't it, Dean Hallertau?
It certainly has. Just watching an interchange now for the Tigers. Jock Madden is on the field. Patrick Herbert's off. So it looks like Adam Dewey shifted to right centre. And then looking at the back end for the Tigers, Jareen Buller.
Yeah, still the trainer as they go here. The West Tigers, as it is, Jock Madden who'll play it now. 40 out from that southern line. Karoisau across to Dewey. Has options on the outside. Takes on Nam. Feeds it back to Taruva. He skips past one tackle. Still going Taruva, but he's stopped down there by Hayes Perham. And that will be changeover. No. Yep, it was changeover, yeah. 5 out from that southern line here. So Brisbane back on the attack. 16 minutes left here. 20 points to 18. So you mentioned Jock Madden out there. Last time these sides met here, he actually scored 2 tries for the Broncos. Here he is in a West Tigers jersey, and still some discomfort there for Jareen Buller, who's since lost the trainer, and he's just waiting back behind the line here. That had an earlier shoulder complaint. Ball comes to Staggs here for the Broncos. They peel it right-hand side. Now it's with Mariner. He tries to step past one. He's forced back again. Great work out there by Karoisau. Doing it at both ends, in attack and defence. And now Jordan Ricky on play 3 now for the Broncos. 30 out from his, make it 25 out from his own line here as he's just heaped back again down there by Terrell May. It's across now for Shibasaki. Takes on Madden and Karoisau. 15 short of the halfway. It is last play for the Broncos as Bukowski at dummy half fires at the Reynolds. And again, he just tries to spear that kick down through centre field. Stop there at the ankles of Jareen Buller. Oh, now it's just been lost cold out there by Makasini into the path of Staggs. Dangerous here for West Tigers. Staggs eventually stopped 30 out from West Tigers' line, but there might be a lead change or two yet to go in this game. 22 out here, the Broncos, as they won the ball back, and now it's with Mariner who'll play it. Dummy half Reynolds, now to Jensen. Angles his run here toward the post. He's taken down by Terrell May. 17 out, right-hand side of the uprights. 20 points to 18, the West Tigers lead. And now Gajewski is tackled 5 metres out from that West Tigers line by Karoisau. Play it there for Bukowski, and now it's been lost by the young dummy half. Oh, but the penalty Broncos.
Yeah, preaching in. That's what the call has come from Todd Smith. And the question from Appy would be, did he jump out? Was he out far enough that he could play at the arm? But the old bull on the young bull there, and Bukowski gets the penalty, and the Broncos, no doubt, here will look to equalise things.
Now, Shane from Toowoomba says, enjoying the call, go Broncos. Good on you, Shane. So, with this, they're taking the two. They're right in front. We see a call come from the...
Yeah, they'll have to go for certain.
Can't see a T out there yet. There it is.
They'd be silly not to, Spriggy.
Thank you, Roo.
Because Ezra Mam is cramping up. There's a lot of players with hands on hips. And at the moment, I think that was a pretty tough penalty for Uppy Karoisau as well. Bukowski had jumped out a fair way.
Penalty count 3-2 Brisbane's way in this game. Ruck infringements overall are 8-3 West Tigers' way. Just the one player on report so far, Pat Herbert. But this will level things up here at Campbelltown. 20 points all. Reynolds almost directly in front. 3 from 3 is converting so far tonight. And with this penalty goal, he'll be 4 out of 4. And indeed we are all locked up at 20 points all with 13 minutes left on the clock. Glenn from Bundaberg says it's great to see the West Tigers and Newcastle doing so well so far. We've got the Knights tomorrow shop at the Footy Stadium against the Roosters. 0467 920 222. Half-time in the AFL, Adelaide 52, now leads St Kilda 44. Half-time A-League men, Sydney FC, Perth Glory still 0-0. Full-time Super Netball, Vixens 56, Thunderbirds 50. So that game's done. Super Rugby second half in Canberra, Fiji and Drua 30 leads the ACT Brumbies 14. We'll wrap up the games so far today and so far in this round and look ahead to tomorrow's two fixtures as well to wrap up NRL round 7. You're with Brett Sprigg, Dean Hallertown, Rowan Sims. 6 more tackles here. A ruck infringement. Set restart now for the Brisbane Broncos. Gajewski tackled 20 out from that southern line. 12 minutes left in the game. It's 20 points all here for these two sides as Ben Talty is brought down. Bukowski dummy half. Off now again to Jack Gajewski. And he's set upon straight away by Latu Fino doing the tackling. And it's come across now again to Hayes Perham. Last play Broncos just behind the halfway line. Bukowski finds Reynolds. Sends that kick high and wobbly down towards that northeastern corner. It's been lost by Makasini. The high ball, he's just made his second error tonight in similar fashion. And this could be costly here for West Tigers.
Yeah, just a little bit nervous at the moment, Makasini. The plane drop off a pass before coming out of their own end, and that led to points for the Broncos. And this one here, it might be floating around and the lights can make it a bit deceiving. He spent the last, 3 or 4 rounds playing in the centres, Makasini, so that one was a little bit difficult to take. He's going to have to try and shake that off as quickly as possible.
So, scrum feed here for the Broncos. 10 metres out. Taking that northern line. Bukowski at the base of the scrum. Off to Staggs. He slips the tackle of Taylor May. And he'll play it deep in that northeastern corner of the ground. Comes to Ricky at first receiver. Ricky 10 metres out now for the Broncos. Play it 6 metres shy. Bukowski across here to the left. And now Reynolds to Mam. Shows such good pace before Madden stops him in concert with Dewey. Still a couple of plays left this set now for the Broncos. Bukowski off to Reynolds. Inside ball, Gajewski. Goes it across the defensive line. Makes light work of Latu Fainu. And now he'll play it. It's only second last year for the Broncos. Bukowski across to Reynolds. 10 metres out. Puts on the stab kick. It's come off the Tigers. Still the last. Wasn't played out, says ref Todd Smith. So last play Broncos. 10 out. Left-hand side of the post. Bukowski to Reynolds. Goes the field goal from 12 out and nails it. So they're ahead by one, the Broncos. 21-20 with 9:50 left in the game.
Well, he's been the leader for this whole game in terms of their positive play, Adam Reynolds, and it just shows how key he is to their structure and the way that they play. He senses there's an opportunity. There's no pressure coming, so he goes for the drop goal straight away. What I love about Adam Reynolds, he's already pleading why it should not have been a 6 again on the previous play. So he's got plenty going on his head, but he can still execute.
So, good finish coming up here. 9:20 left here at Campbelltown. Touchline we go. Ruwan Sims.
Yeah, really smart play by Adam Reynolds. No one's expecting, with 10 minutes to go, someone to go for a field goal. That's when the time is to pull the trigger. This is going to be a big set here for the Broncos.
Broncos ahead by one. Back from the kickoff. Brisbane has the footy. Play at 15 out. It's come across here again to Jordan Ricky. Bukowski sets up at dummy half. Comes back right-hand side of the park. And now brought down out there is Talty. Play that quickly here. Bukowski across to Hayes Perham. Staggs can release on the outside. Mariner, he's too quick. Taylor May just ankle tapped him, stopped him. Although tackle won't count, now it does. 20 out, 5 in from the eastern side. Bukowski dummy half. Across now for Perham. Little show and go from him. And now is tackled 11 metres out from that northern line by Fanua Bole. Comes to Reynolds. They shift that line all the way across now. Shibasaki to Karapani, and he runs around to improve the angle. And it was forward, says ref Todd Smith. So it will be West Tigers ball, 10 out from their own line. 8 minutes left in this game. It's the Broncos 21, the Tigers 20.
Yeah, well, a beautiful break down the right-hand side by the Broncos. Great hands and then some good speed on the outside. A last-ditch effort by May gets the ball across there. But then, yeah, the big cutout pass from Adam Reynolds. I'm not sure if it was that one or the subsequent one that was called forward, but opportunity gone begging there for the Bronx.
What a game this is. Some of your texts and shout-outs shortly here, but it's all game time here. 7:40 left here at Campbelltown. Anyone's game. Broncos lead by 1. The Tigers attempting their best winning streak in 14 years. So here is 12. Play at 30 out. Croissau. Across again. Madden. Corrects it to the right-hand side. And now Kai Pearce ball. No options there for the offload. He'll play at 40 out. Croissau in at dummy half. Open side left. They go again. Bolle off to Luai. Cut out ball goes wide here. They've got someone on the outside. And now Staggs on the chase down tackle there on Nakasini. He'll play at 40 out from Brisbane's line. Comes back to Madden. High scrolling ball into the set from Jock Madden. Sets a task. Oh, he left it to bounce down there, Perham. It'll bounce back here. Left behind with the Tigers. Pounced on now by the Broncos and Dean Mariner. And Mariner's still going here untouched, and he will get to the 30. Todd Smith deeming that the West Tigers were offside. So it will be, what's that? Penalty count now, 4-2 going the Broncos' way, and it remains 21-20, 6.5 minutes left here in Hallertown.
Yeah, well, the Broncos, it's very, very hectic football at the moment. The ball's let to bounce, which is almost a no-no most of the time, but fortunately for the Broncos, they're able to come up with possession. And Dean Mariner, who's got so much explosiveness in broken field, he's very dangerous and catches the Tigers on the hop through the middle there, but then they're offside, and good inside there, a good keen eye from the referee to pick that up.
He's Perham. Cross now for Jensen, and he's dumped the tackle of Twal and Croissau. 5 short of the halfway. Bukowski, the debutant dummy half, off to the right. Now here again for Xavier Willison. Big role for him as well, starting lock position. Can he finish the game strongly? Bukowski across to Reynolds. Inside ball back to Ben Talty, and now he's collected 35 out centre field. Couple of plays left in the set here for the Broncos, who lead by a solitary point. Bukowski across to Reynolds. With some run now to Mam, and now he dummies the pass before Dewey grabs him. 30 out, 20 in Western side. 5.5 left in the game here. Bukowski, a flat ball from dummy half there for Corey Jensen. And he's stopped now, 17 out from the West Tigers line, left-hand side of the uprights. Bukowski, the rookie, goes to the right-hand side. Reynolds, his kick high for the corner. They're all chasing it through there. Makasini gets up and takes it on the full in the in-goal. So a restart from 20 and 7 tackles. He'll tap quickly here. No, he won't. He wasn't in the middle. Ref Todd Smith calls him back and says, yeah.
He caught him on the run too. He showed that middle.
Get to Ruan Sims on the touchline very shortly. What do the Tigers do here early in the set? Can they make ground? They trail by a point. Croyce out. Across now for Taylor May. And he's with the company of Ricky and also Willison out there here doing that right edge Broncos defence. Croyce out across here, open side right. It is with Terrell May, and he backs his way into the contact of Bukowski and also Ben Talty. Pull away right-hand side. Madden to Luai. Slips the tackle of Willison. Luai still going. Now it's called the tackle now. Croyce out on half to the right-hand side. Off again to Kai Pearce-Paul, who's collared 30 out from Broncos line. This will be second last now for the Tigers, who trail by a point. Croyce finds Madden. Dummies the inside ball. Goes wide to Luai, and now Dewey. Cut out ball wide here again for Makasini. Steps in field, taken by Staggs, and dumped over the eastern touchline. So the Broncos defence just won't wilt. 4 minutes left. They hang on to a 1-point lead here. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, Makasini there, he had to cut in a bit earlier. He had to find the ground. They were really pushing for points there. They looked like they were about to crack this defence of the Broncos, but unfortunately this is a turnover, and you can just see the relief in this Broncos outfit.
So, 3:50 left. Broncos 21, Tigers 20. How would these fans feel? Pete Hallertau.
Oh, you can sense the atmosphere. It's a state of shock at the moment from the West Tigers fans, but the game's there's still time left for them to score points.
20 out, 20 in, Western side. Dummy half, Hayes Perham. And his first appearance as a Bronco, and now Shibasaki is dragged back. Still 20 out centre field. Early in the set here for the Broncos. Getting involved now, Willison. Gains a quick 10. Play it now back to Bukowski. Bursting by Ben Talty. Game dozen now for him towards halfway. Madden tackles him. Bukowski goes right this time. Back to Hayes Perham. And he's over halfway inside West Tigers territory. But it is last play here for the Broncos. Hang on to a 1-point lead. Bukowski across to Reynolds. Directs a high and long kick down that eastern touchline. And it's taken down there by Mariner. Fed back to Reynolds. He kicks again. Buller will field it deep in that northeastern corner. And he's dragged down in the in-goal area. I'm not sure how Buller was dragged back there. Is there a try for the Broncos? No. He kept the footy during Buller. But he looked like he was back in the field and played pretty comfortably. And then all of a sudden, there was this great desperation down there from the Broncos defenders to ground him ball and all in the West Tigers in-goal area. So 2:25 left. Drop out here for the West Tigers. Taken by Madden. Just goes the required 10. It's been spilled over the eastern touchline. He's saying knock on Tigers, so it'll be a Brisbane ball any case. 10 metres out from that northern line. Touchline we go, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, there's some really tired bodies out there at the moment. With 2 minutes to go, you can see some of this pressure really mounting from on the Tigers here, and their defence is going to have to really step up if they want to try and turn this ball over.
As Ruth said, plenty of tired bodies. It's been a fast and frenetic game here at Campbelltown tonight. Broncos lead by 1. Bukowski, a dummy half, feeds Ben Talty. Can they put the game to bed here? Croyce out claims Talty. 5 out right-hand side of the post. Bukowski back here again now to Willison. Tries to spin out the back. Can't quite get there. He's a metre out. Play 3 here for the Broncos. Minute 35 left. Bukowski fires it back to Reynolds. And now right-hand side, Perham to Staggs. He's taken down with a left edge defence of May and Luai. Play it now. 8 out. Deep in that eastern corner of the ground. And now Jordan Ricky. Wrapped up by Croyce. 10 metres out. Right-hand side of the post. Minute 15 left. They come blindside. Right, the run there, in fact, was from the dummy half Bukowski. It was nailed by Croyce. Now it will be last play Brisbane. Can they score the try here? or they'll give the Tigers one set to finish off the game. Perham surrenders there on that last play. So a changeover, and the Tigers have 55 seconds to go, 95 metres, Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, they're up against it at the moment, and smart play from the Broncos to finish it off deep in the corner so that it makes it really difficult for them to get any shape.
Alan May, tackle 10 out here. Coy set on half, comes across to Terrell May. All over him down there is Willison. Strong Brisbane defence on Terrell May. It's already played 2 here for West Tigers. 35 seconds left. 10 out from their own line. Madden across to Lua. Can they find the break somewhere? Buller off to Dewey. And Shibasa off back here for Ezra Mam. Intercepted by Mam. And that could be it. That will be it, you would think. Mam rolls it back there for Karapani. And Karapani play at 15 out here with 12 seconds left. Bukowski dummy half. Has the ball in hand. And he just falls over with the ball in hand. Oh, now he's actually... A player's hit the deck in there. I think it was Alex Twoll who lost his footing. Maybe he was sort of tripped inadvertently there by Bukowski. And now there's some afters going on here on the full-time hooter. Frustration mulling over here for West Tigers. But this has been mighty from the Broncos. Missing 10 of their best players. They lose Payne Haas in the first half. Adam Reynolds and co. The great players stand up and stand out when it matters most. And while the refs just trying to split the players here, it very much appears like a 21-20 full-time score here the way of the Brisbane Broncos. There's still some jerseys being grabbed down there. Twoll and Jensen and Willison. I beg your pardon, Curry in there as well for the Broncos.
Yeah, there might be a penalty coming here still. Obviously, they're going to be reviewing it, even though this is still going on, this melee in the middle of the field. But it looked as though, you were right, Spring, it looked as though Alex Twoll had fallen over on top of the player. Yeah. One of the Broncos had taken exception, maybe Ezra Mann. So Todd Smith's trying to have a look at it now. The players are shaking hands. To echo what you said, but huge performance from the Brisbane Broncos to get this one.
I think this game is done. He's just having one last little look here, Todd Smith.
So the tackle was complete. Any foul play was started from you guys. Okay, the clock's gone now, so it's going to be full time. All right?
There we go.
Full time, 21-20. There's a couple of players embrace, and the West Tigers winning run does come to an end. But this has been absolutely mighty from the Brisbane Broncos. Depleted, down and out. They lost Payne Haas, and yet they had 25% possession through much of that first half, and yet they win it by a point here, 21-20. A great win for Michael Maguire and the Broncos, their 4th of campaign 26.
Yeah, Spriggy, you could see it. There was some vision there of Michael Maguire in the box as the full-time hooter went, and the elation on his face, obviously a huge win for them to come down here to Campbelltown against the team that's been travelling so well on the Tigers, under strength, as we said, and they got back a man that was pretty much the main driver to their win tonight, and that's Adam Reynolds. But around that, there were so many guys that had to stand up and get the job done, and that they did. So it was like I said, a huge performance from the Broncos. There was good performers across the park. You know what I really liked? That the young fella that came on for him, Bukowski, he's got a lot of liveliness out of it. Dummy half, he definitely was a step up from the youngster, but he handled himself really well out there. But that's what those injuries and missing players does, gives guys like him an opportunity to come in.
It's Ruan Sims very shortly. Yeah, the big Bukowski. Down to you, Ru, down to you.
Thanks very much. I've got Ezra Mann down here with me. Ezra, it was a very vocal crowd. It was a physical game. It had absolutely everything in it, and you guys got the 2 points in the end.
Yeah, it was a very tough game. The Tigers gone well this year, and we knew we were going to come down here. It was going to be a big fight, and full credit to the boys for sticking in there. We always believed in that next man up, and we proved ourselves here today.
Just watching those last minute, 60 seconds of play there was a shot of Madge in the box, just celebrating the work that you guys had done. Does this really show what the DNA of the Broncos is? To be down 10 of your best players are out, Payne Haas goes off throughout the game, and to turn out like that, that's something special.
Yeah, no doubt. And, we believe in everyone at the club, the 430 and everyone else. Good luck. Believe in everyone here, and it's full credit for the whole club as a whole for getting together and really pulling forward in this point in time.
How is it playing with Adam Reynolds? Such a smart play there with 10 minutes to go to clutch that one-pointer when the defence isn't expecting it. Everyone at home would be probably thinking, what are you doing? But that's just really smart football.
Full credit. He's been on for, nearly 50 years now, and it's just the experience that comes along with it, and just to see him pop up in that split second where I wasn't even thinking about doing that in that point in time, and just to see the way he thinks is pretty special.
Oh, congratulations. Go and enjoy the win. It's so cold, I don't think you even need an ice bar. Thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Great stuff, Ru. Ezra Mam there with Ruan Sims. Yeah, from 18-14 the halftime score, just 21-20. So not a lot of points scored in that second half. By the way, just further to that, Ru, you mentioned Payne Haas. Jesse Arthur's a calf injury. Now, calves are not short injuries. So just to recap that, Jesse Arthur's a calf. So, but now talking, 12 players. They'll be without for, at least a little while.
Yeah, if it's a calf enough to keep him off the field, that means it's a significant grading, like you said there, Spriggy. So they take a further hit, the Broncos, but they learn a lot about themselves in a win like that. So no doubt they'll regroup and that next man up mentality that Ezra Mam just spoke about.
See if we can get some reaction from the West Tigers camp as well, while the players continue to sort of shake hands and mill about. We go back down to you, Ruan Sims.
Thanks very much. I've got Jock Madden down here with me. Jock, I know the result didn't go the way you wanted, but there was plenty of resilience and plenty of personality you guys showed out there tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We knew Broncos were going to be strong, obviously the reigning premiers, so it didn't matter who was in that team. We knew that whoever was coming in that team, they'd come and do a job there. But for ourselves, we did show plenty of resilience there. We'll obviously we'll be disappointed in that, but we'll go back to work and work on that.
Defensively, I think that's probably been the biggest turnaround for you guys this year. Every little bit that you do in the tackle, the contact, the way you drag back to the try line, that's all sort of adding up to that pressure that you mount on the opposition.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big focus that we took out of the pre-season and worked throughout the pre-season, that we wanted to focus on our defence, and it's definitely showing throughout games, and like I said, there's definitely things that we can continue to work on.
Now, you were playing half for a few weeks. You earned that spot to stay on the bench tonight. What was Benji's message to you when you went out?
Yeah, obviously he wanted me to finish the game there, so I'm quite disappointed in myself that I couldn't do that, but throughout the whole week he was just making sure that I'd stay ready, and he never knew when I was going to get on.
I know it wasn't a win for you guys, but I don't think you lost any fans here tonight. Thanks for talking to us on ABC Sport.
Thank you.
Jock Madden there with Ruan Sims. So if you like, come up here, join us for our post-game up if you like. So we'll see you up here in a few minutes. Ruan Sims, who's got the puffer jacket, and it must feel pretty cool down there in this part of the world at this time of the night. 21 points to 20. A winning Adam Reynolds field goal was 10 minutes from full time. It wasn't your typical field goal, but it did prove the difference there in the end for the Broncos, who have 4 victories in their past 5 starts. Of course, they lost to the Cowboys in fairly tight circumstances last week by 4 points, and here they are, winners by 1 point here tonight. As the lights come back on here, these are like hospital-grade lights in the Campbelltown commentary box, so very impressive. But that is a loss, the first in a while for Benji's men.
Yeah, and that first half, you would have thought, I had a feeling they should have been in front for one, but by a decent margin with the amount of possession that we've gone on about that they had. So, if you go in at halftime with a bigger lead and you feel as though the scoreline reflects the dominance of possession, then it sort of it does put an end to the Broncos, but it makes it all that harder to come out second half. The fact that the Broncos are able to go into halftime on a run of points and then come out the other side feeling really confident and happy about where they are is probably the sort of springboard into the second half that they needed to go on with it. And it's probably going to be a good learning game for the West Tigers, and there won't be panic stations by any margin because they've already shown enough this year that they're a capable side. But definitely they'll go back and do a strong review and have some reflection. I don't think Benji's going to be too hard on them, but definitely point out where they can fix things up before next week.
Off the SMS, can you please do a shout out to my nan? She's in hospital and listening to the game. Her name is Gwen Smith, a diehard Tigers fan, and this person goes on to say she's in palliative care, sadly, and it's all the best to you, Gwen. 83 years old, a lifetime Tigers fan, and sorry your Tigers couldn't get up tonight, Gwen, but continued best wishes to you and your family, and thank you for the opportunity to give you a shout out. No skin in the game, but I feel West got the short end of the stick from the refs. Thank you, Cam and Borkham Hills. Top game, Reynolds. Champions stand up. I stole Frank's line. Champions stand up and stand out. Will the Campbelltown curse continue, Frank? Yeah, he was good, wasn't he, Adam Reynolds, in his first game back, and was phenomenal for them tonight.
There's a nice joke there from Ezra Mam about 50 years in the game, but he honestly plays like he's been around for that long, just with the composure and the time that he gives himself to make decisions and to execute, and he does it so well, and it was key in a lot of their points tonight. Kicked that field goal that ended up being the difference in the end, right? And like you said, Spriggy, it was a reasonable distance to go in the game, but he felt like that buffer could really cement things for them, and it did.
Tony Staggs has just told the host TV broadcaster, by the way, that he played the second half with a torn tendon. A torn tendon for Tony Staggs in his right foot.
Ouch.
But he still had a pulse, so he stayed out there, is his words. So we're talking about Haas, Arthurs, and potentially Tony Staggs as well out of the Broncos injury list.
Yeah, that's significant. And Tony Staggs, one of the premium centres in the game, he was, I suppose, quiet in the second half, and there's a good reason why. Torn tendon in the foot is not going to be pleasant.
Love the call. Come on, the Tigers from Singapore. Yeah, couldn't get the Tigers home for you, our Singapore listener. Brian from Umina says, it's my opinion that the Tigers are really disrespectful of Adam Dewey. Put him where he wants to be and then leave him there. I want to ask you, Shop, as someone who was a pretty versatile player yourself, is it a badge of honour to be able to be a versatile player, or would you rather have just the continuity because you're playing in one role the whole time?
I've said this before, it's a blessing and a curse. So the blessing is it gives you an opportunity to play probably times that you might not. So I still believe that the reason I got to play for the Kiwis because I could cover positions. That was what gave me that opportunity. It gave me the opportunity to start in first grade as well. But then once you're established, you definitely want to settle on a spot and stay there. Just depends on, like, sometimes things move for your team and your team's better off with you playing somewhere else, and you just got to do what's better for the team. I do feel bad for Adam Dewey because I think where he wants to play and maybe what's best for the team doesn't sort of meet together, but he's definitely a part of their plans, and you know they signified that by re-signing him. So it's a tricky one. I think he'll ultimately do what's best for the team, but he should have a say in what that looks like.
Kaz in Port Macquarie, thank you for your text as well. Keep them coming. 0467920222, and thank you, Cam. Says much love to the ABC Sport team with a love heart emoji. There we go. Nothing but love here. 21-20, the Broncos win here. That field goal came in the 70th minute. So there you go, everyone. Sims, welcome back to you. It wasn't just that moment. I mean, what impressed you most about the Broncos overall tonight, Roo?
I think probably what impressed me the most was just their composure under pressure. I think it was really obvious, and I think a lot of that does have to do with Adam Reynolds and the way he conducts himself. He's a very composed half, so everyone around him is nice and calm because he's not frantic and he's thinking about things a few steps ahead. So, you know, I actually saw him setting up for that field goal, and I was like, I really love that because not a lot of people think with 10 minutes to go to slot a one-pointer field goal, but the defence isn't looking to shut down a field goal attempt with 10 minutes to go. They think you're just going to play football. And even Ezra Mam said, I didn't even know he was doing that. So he even fooled his own team. So I just thought, very, very composed, very resilient, and they just managed to absorb all of the pressure that the Tigers threw at them and still go into halftime leading and come away with the win.
It was literally the difference. 3 tries all, 3 conversions all, 1 penalty goal all, and then of course the 1-point field goal.
Yeah, that composure. You remember James Maloney, he was the shortest memory in rugby league, right? So we make a mistake or something, we go against him and he just move on.
Yeah.
Like, Adam Reynolds doesn't get flustered by anything. Like, something we go against the team, he'll acknowledge it or he'll ask a question if there needs to be a captain's challenge, but then he just gets on with it, and his facial expressions rarely change. He's just always so steady, and I guess, really key attribute for a half.
And he's one of their leaders, so everyone looks to him to set. So there's a thing where, you've got someone who reads the temperature and someone who sets the temperature. He sets the temperature. You know, he doesn't just tell you what the vibe of the team is. He actually sets the vibe of the team. Yeah, he sets the temperature.
So 3 tries, all I mentioned. Taylor May in the 9th minute, Jareem Bullard in the 31st, and Api Croissau in the 53rd for the West Tigers, while for the Broncos, Zai Karpani 22, Dean Marin in the 36th, and Ben Tolte just before half-time. Adam Dewey was 3 out of 3 conversions plus the penalty goal. Adam Reynolds was also 3 out of 3 plus the penalty goal plus the field goal as well. Yes?
Can I just take a moment for Api Croissau just to say how impressive he has been? He played that whole game, and his intensity from minute 1 to minute 80 did not drop off. And there was a point in time after Adam kicked that field goal when he was walking back, and I could see him do it. I was watching his little hand signals, and he was doing these ones, right? So, which is just straight up and down with the hands, which to me is a middle set. So you're going to go middle set. It's a spot set on a middle. They spot set it Api Croissau, that whole thing. He made every single one of those tackles and then did a kick, like put pressure on the kicker, and then turned around and got back by tackle 2 to then be dummy half. He is just phenomenal. Like, he definitely has to be in Origin discussion.
I was going to say, I appreciate that it's a tough thing to sort of make these calls this early. There's already speculation about who plays. There's obviously
but the coaches, I get it, but the coaches are watching and they're talking about it.
And Roo, what is the most sort of, fatiguing game you can play? It's Origin. If you're playing a game like that, like Api Croissau tonight, it's the same kind of mood, isn't it?
Yeah, he suits that intensity, no doubt.
Intensity,
I agree. I can't agree more with you, Roo. He was, Spriggy, you called him on a kick chase, and I think it was Dean Marin tried to skirt around him on the...
And then he pushed through and made a legs tackle on whoever got the offload.
But then he was back on the right side of the field. He just covers so much ground, and he's always thinking, where's the vulnerability next? Because I need to be the man that plugs that. And his effort's phenomenal, particularly for a guy who's been in the middle, had to sustain so much damage and wear and tear over a long career. To continually do that is super impressive.
Yeah, but I actually think he's playing better now than when he was first selected for New South Wales.
He's come back up on another peak.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good.
This now brings the Broncos back up to 9th for the time being. So the West Tigers stay in 3rd for now. Of course, who could catch them? Well, the Knights play against the Roosters tomorrow. A couple of points behind. We sure are. We'll get to all of that again very shortly. The Broncos... No, anyway. Now, all that said, who are your 3 best players in the ABC?
Sorry.
No, by all means.
Well, 1 point I'm going to go Xavier Willison. He was asked to do a lot of work, obviously, with Payne Haas going off. He became big minute man, pumped out 72 minutes, 160 running metres, 54 tackles. So big work from the big man. 2 points I'm going to Api Croissau. I thought exactly the same as Roo just articulated before. He was just effort on effort on effort and never went away, and, key man for the Tigers tonight all time. And then for 3 points, got to go to Adam Reynolds, the maestro. Ball on a string, a hand in all their points, kicked the winning field goal, and was just superb in his return game.
0 surprises. 3 Reynolds, 2 to Croissau, and 1 to Xavier Willison, and the ABC Player of the Year as adjudged by our own Dean Hallertau. Around the grounds quickly, it's gone full-time A-League men, Sydney FC, Perth Glory, 0-all. 3rd quarter AFL, Adelaide 85 have leading St Kilda 70, and it's full-time Super Rugby. A tight one there in Canberra, Fiji and Drua 33 have beaten the ACT Brumbies 28. So that's what has happened there. Let's recap the day so far in Rugby League, and we'll go right back to Mount Smart Stadium, where it was, the Warriors dominant. They led 22-0 at the half against the Titans, only to hold off a Titans second half comeback. And Glenn Lauder and the team have the wrap.
Spriggy, it looked like it was going to be one-way traffic in the first half. The Warriors raced away to a 22 points to 0 halftime lead, but the Gold Coast Titans did come back in the second half. There were 3 tries in the last 12 minutes. Matthew Elliott and Kiana Takarangi were watching it with me. Matthew, I'll start with you. The Warriors started so quickly. Alofiana Khan-Pereira scored in the 5th minute, and they really had the momentum in that first half, didn't they?
Yeah, the first 40 minutes really belonged to them. And I thought the start of the second
second half showed that they really wanted to go on with the game, but they got slightly distracted, and the Gold Coast certainly took advantage of that.
Certainly through the middle of the park as well in that first half. The Warriors got so much roll on, didn't they, Kiana? The Gold Coast had to make so many more tackles, and they looked like they were out on their feet at halftime. They needed that break to come along.
Yeah, they did. I thought that Jackson Ford, he was so impressive, as you already mentioned, Maddie, with some impressive run meters by the end of the game, 226. But I thought Mitchell Barnett as well had a massive impact on the game for the Warriors. Very good in his return.
Yeah, and the Gold Coast in that second half, Maddie, they did score those 4 tries after half-time. They were strange tries, weren't they? They were very much eyes-up footy. I called it in the call, a bit like rugby sevens. They were chasing the game, but the Warriors were a little bit clunky in that second half, allowing the Gold Coast back in.
Yeah, there were some unusual tries batting the ball around like that. I tell you, one young player that really caught my eye was Oliver Pascoe. His ability to actually create space around the ruck, and then you had people like Cooper Bye there going up the back of the ruck. They really created some opportunities. They overplayed probably too often, but I can see some real danger in this Titans team.
I thought they looked better when their rotations came back around and they had their starting forwards back on the field. With Curtis Morin had a really big final 20 minutes for the Gold Coast and got a lot of their forward momentum. But that Warriors outside backline as well, Kiana, is really exciting. We saw Alofiana Khan-Pereira score a double on the outside of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and they spun it the other way as well. So they've got so many attacking threats, don't they, as well as those middles?
Yeah, they do, and I think the back five for the Warriors do a really good job at getting their set started really well. They all roll up their sleeves and take some really tough carries that, they're prop-like. They're almost like props these days, the outside backs. But, yeah, as you said, the finishes that some of those boys produced tonight with their tries in the corners were just super impressive.
So I guess the question mark around this Warriors team has always been the way they travel, Matthew. They were good at home tonight, but is this a Warriors team? Do you think, you've obviously known the Warriors for a long time, you've been a coach there in the past, is this a Warriors team that can start thinking about being there right at the back end of September, potentially early October?
Absolutely. I've got absolutely zero doubt about that. Momentum we talked about it before the game, in modern footy is an important thing, and they need to build on the momentum, not just on the field that they created in the game, but also from week to week. So they've got to remove the venue from their head and just think about their footy.
So speaking of venues, they take a home game against the Dolphins to Wellington next week. The Gold Coast actually have the week off, so they can recover from that loss. But it did finish Alofiana Khan-Pereira's double, Chanel Harris-Tavita, Dallin Watene-Zalesniak, and Erin Clark as the try scorers for the Warriors. Tanner Boyd ended up with 4 from 6 for the Titans. Tries to Fafita, Fayamani, Howe, and Morin. As I mentioned, 3 of those tries in the final 12 minutes of the game. All of those tries in the final half an hour. Jaden Campbell ended up with 2 from 4. Matthew, how did your ABC Player of the Year points look?
I gave 3 points to Jackson Ford. Leka Hamasala got 2 points, and Tino Fasamuwali got 1.
There you go, Spriggy. It finished the Warriors 28, the Titans 20.
Thank you, Glenn, and to Maddie and to Kiana as well. The Warriors winners there. That now firmly entrenches them into second. So they sit ahead of the West Tigers and, of course, behind the Penrith Panthers. The Warriors with those 5 wins staying in second with that win earlier over the Gold Coast Titans. What about the continued pressure, no doubt, on Shane Flanagan? And Michael Carianis mentioned that there'll be an important board meeting early next week at St George Illawarra to, among other things, determine the fate of their coach. Indeed, unfortunately for them, it was not a victory today, and South had the better of them at Stadium Australia. Andrew Moore and the team were there.
Spriggy, the drama continues with the Dragons, doesn't it? They had the first send-off since 2024. Jaden Sewer in the 69th minute was marched by referees Bignev Jaklasa and Damsky on advice from the bunker for a high shot on Cam Murray. And looking at a few replays, it's hard to argue with that decision to march Jaden Sewer from the field. Their other problem was when they had a 13-12 advantage when Peter Marmazelis was sin-binned late in the first half. In that 10 minutes, South scored 2 tries. They end up winning 30 points to 12, having led 16-12 at half-time. But Luke Lewis, the star of the show, Latrell Mitchell, 4 tries, 3 goals from 7 attempts, and he was destructive as
was just damaging. The way that he carried the ball, he was heavily involved coming out of his own end. He was defending really well, but just near the line. He gave Valentine Holmes and Daniel Atkinson absolute nightmares tonight. So, absolute brilliant performance by him. Matt Duffy played well as well. Look, they won't be really happy with their overall performance, South Sydney. A couple of individuals were outstanding, but their discipline tonight almost let them down a few times, but they always seem to have the game in the bag.
And equally the Dragons. I mean, some of the vision we had of the coach, Shane Flanagan, my heart bled for him. For example, they're right back in the game. They've got their nose in front. Marmazelis has been sin bin. There's over a minute to go, 2 minutes to go, I think, in the half. Play 2 on the attack. And there's a ridiculous exchange of passing between Hamish Stewart and Blake Laurie. They lose the ball, and South scored just before halftime.
Yeah, footy education's definitely not their their attributes at the moment for the Dragons. But yeah, like you said, that was an opportunity they had. 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock. They're coming up with silly passes. Had a couple of full sets. With South Sydney one player down on their line, and they just keep putting their teammates under pressure. They pass the ball to their teammates in a worse position, and we get told not to do that all the time. So not very smart there by the Dragons, but for me, just their lack of intensity in defence is what really stood out to me, especially on that right edge. They were scared to tackle Latrell Mitchell. And the way that they defended on that right edge, they just did everything by themselves. It was horrible to watch.
We'll talk about this in more detail tomorrow. But Shane Flanagan, you won a premiership with him coaching at Cronulla Sutherland 10 years ago. Is he gone?
I think he's gone, and I don't think it's because of Shane Flanagan. It's because the players out there aren't doing their job, and they've obviously got to make changes somewhere. And the first person to always go is Shane Flanagan. So it's horrible to see. He's got obviously 2 years, but there's so much pressure that's building on him. But I just don't believe that it's going to get any better there. Like you said, the players that they've got there at the moment, the way that they're playing and what they're doing, they might need a fresh voice or a new perspective on how to play. But
they need a new roster, Louis.
They need everything that needs to be redone. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are in it. The players, they've got to work their way out of it.
All right, mate, I'll catch you tomorrow at Western Sydney Stadium, where we'll be for Parramatta against Canterbury Bankstown. Louis' ABC Player of the Year points, a no-brainer, the 3 to Latrell Mitchell after his 4-try effort, 2 to Cody Walker continuing his good early season form, and 1 to fullback Matt Duffy. Of course he scored a try against his old team in his first NRL game in 4 years. The other, of course, is that Alex Johnston scored here at Stadium Australia his 98th try at this venue in his 100th game. Spriggy, South 30, too good for St George, Illawarra 12.
Thank you, Maury. Look forward to hearing from you and Louis and Gibbsy tomorrow for all the usual fun from midday. And, of course, first send-off we saw, Roo, nearly 2 years, Jaden Sewer. So there you go.
Yes.
Did you see it? It looked like it was.
I did see clips of it when I got here because obviously I was listening to the call because I was driving. But when I got here, I think that's a fair call. It was direct. And forceful contact to the head. So, unfortunately for Jaden, it's the correct call.
Just on the Dragons, by the way, Shane Flanagan spoke at his press conference after on the pressure on him being the right person for the job at the Dragons.
Yeah, of course, it puts me and the club under pressure. We're not winning footy games, and I understand that. It's a business of winning, and we're not winning. And as I said, I go to work every day, and all I can do is do my best, prepare the players the best I can. And if it doesn't work, and they decide to make a decision, well, I just got to live with that.
Shane Flanagan there at the post-match press conference.
Pretty pragmatic.
Yeah.
I think you have to be, though. You can't.
It's sad sometimes. See, some of those shots during the game where he just looks like a very sort of full-on figure. Damien Cook, the captain, had a reasonable game. He was asked what can he and the playing group do to help their coach.
He's done everything he can. It's up to us. Like you said, we lost it in yardage tonight. Our discipline in yardage D, our discipline with the ball, we didn't put enough pressure on them. Didn't get down their other end. And when we give up the ball easy in yardage and you give Troll 10 metres out, he's done that at every level of the game. So it doesn't shock me what he can do. I know what he can do. And tonight, like Shane said, he was in one of those moods and very hard to stop. We need to try and be better there, but it's because we had those errors and we let him in that field position.
So there you have it. Damien Cook speaking there about the continued pressure on the playing group and indeed the coach, Shane Flanagan there at St George Illawarra, who lost today to South 30 points to 12. By the way, the teams that played here tonight, so the Tigers next up are at home against the Raiders at Leichhardt on Thursday night to start round 8. The Broncos are at home to Canterbury Bankstown on Friday night. So that's what's to come for these two teams tonight. The Broncos winners here 21-20 over West Tigers in front of a sellout crowd here at Campbelltown. Out of the match review stuff earlier, out of last night's games, Credit Nicarima faces a 2-match ban with an early plea after being charged with a grade 2 dangerous contact for the hip drop tackle that left Mitch Kenny seriously injured. That suspected broken ankle in Darwin. If he challenges and loses, he gets 3. Likewise, Canberra's Hudson Young, who also faces a 2 to 3 match ban for a grade 2 careless high tackle on Suafalongo out of the Raiders Storm game last night. Financial sanctions for Tom Gilbert and Morgan Knowles out of the Dolphins Penrith game, and Manai Waitere from the Storm, also a fine for a careless high tackle out of the match review. What about the news that MC mentioned earlier, that Manly are preparing to face up to 2 months without Tom Trbojevic, their captain and fullback, with a pretty serious hamstring injury?
It's terrible for Manly. Obviously, a little bit of a new lease of life under Kieran Foran, and some positive signs for the team going forward. But we know, and everyone knows, that over the last 6 to 7 years, their success has come when he's on the field. So losing someone like him is a big hit, but you kind of get a sense of the style of Kieran Foran at the moment. That is, they just have to deal with it and move on and try and fill the gap as best as possible. I'm not sure who it is that goes back to one. Is it Liam Hopoate?
I'd say.
You know, he's capable, and they just have to get on with it, but it's tough.
Yeah, definitely. I think they might have to slightly tweak how they use their fullback in attack, because they're very different styles of fullbacks. But he is a big loss because, again, he's another one who doesn't really get flustered easily. Yeah. He's quite consistent with his manner. So that is a really big loss for them. But I actually really felt for him, just looking at the dejection on his face when he realised what he felt, and I thought, oh no, the poor guy, he just can't catch a break because he had such a clean start to the season, and I thought this could be a great year for him.
We'll finish with our highlights of the day shortly. Tomorrow, coverage from midday Eastern with Andrew Moore, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. I'll do the usual 2 hours of pre-game fun. Then the 2 o'clock game shot will be joined by Michael Carianis at the Sydney Football Stadium for the Roosters and the Knights. The Roosters coming off their impressive second half comeback against the Sharks, and the Knights welcome back Dylan Brown.
Yeah, big one, bounce back game for the Knights. Obviously a big loss here last week against the Tigers, so they'll want to pick back up that early season form that they've shown, and getting Dylan Brown is huge again, like impact player. They've been good without him, but it's great to have him back for them.
Quick tip, Roo, that game?
Roosters.
Then we'll kick it back to Maury and the odd couple for Parramatta and Canterbury. Stephen Crichton won't be playing. There was an outside chance to make his return from a shoulder injury. He was withdrawn in the squad today. Leo Thompson will play his first game after his pre-season calf injury. So his first game as a Bulldog. For the Eels, Sean Russell will have to wait 1 more week. Raz Nanva, who debuted on the wing last week, will now come into the centres in jersey number 19. And Saxon Pryke on the bench in line for a debut there for the Eels tomorrow. So that's what's to come still tomorrow from midday Eastern. There we go. Thanks, Roo.
Thanks.
Thanks, Shop.
See you tomorrow, mate.
See you all again very, very soon. Thanks to Renelle Moa in the studio, as always, for her tireless Apicaroisa-like effort. And to Nathan Turnbull on the faders here at Campbelltown, and our team right across the day. To you, most importantly, for your company as well. The highlights to finish across these 3 games today. Wins to the Warriors, to South Sydney, and the Broncos, who break the Tigers' streak as we say farewell from Campbelltown Stadium.
Egan left out a dummy half. Boyd, short ball, quick hands, left-hand side. Carl Pereira for a double. Great athleticism. Dives over the top, puts the ball down in the corner, scores the try. 13 away from the line. Right-hand side for Barnett. Boyd out the back. Nickel Klugstad, quick hands for one. Denny's a Lesniak who flies and scores. He might be 30, but he's doing it like the young guns as well. Halasim is 7 away from the line, play 3. Can they hit straight back here, the Warriors? Egan left out a dummy half. Short ball. Fisher Harris, the wraparound is sensational with Aaron Clark. What about the wraparound from the two middle forwards, James Fisher-Harris and Aaron Clark? Clark scores the try. Moran plays it 5 away from the line, right for Campbell. They go without the ball on that right-hand side. It might have been touched by the Warriors. They score in the corner here, the Gold Coast, through Fayamani, and the referee, Wyatt Raymond, points to the spot. Fermor takes the tackle just short of halfway. Final play, the Gold Coast. They will go to the left-hand side now and change direction back onto the right. So Campbell will put the high midfield bomb up. Agati Owen right in the centre of Mount Smart Stadium. Tino Fasul-Malaawi was the first one there. Gets a great pass away to Arama Howe. Still going Arama Howe, and he'll score the try under the posts. That is one of the weirdest tries you'll ever see. And the Warriors will celebrate 28 points to 20. They get there in the end.
South Sydney win the scrum. And it comes to the left side. Jamie Humphries, he gets the pass away to support. Walker away to Mitchell. He dummies, goes himself, and Val Holmes escorts him over the goal line. Try to the Rabbitohs. From a scrum, easy as you like. Cut that ball, Mitchell. Quick hands away to Johnson, the king. He's over the 20. Beats one. Taken now 9 metres out by Tyrell Sloan in the southeast corner. Plays the ball, Latrell Mitchell goes from dummy half from 10 metres out. You can't let a player score from there. But Latrell Mitchell, through sheer force and willpower, he does score from there. He's got a double. Marmazella's taken a metre out from the line. 9 minutes 30 to go. South 20, St George Illawarra 12. Played to Humphries, through hands, Walker to Latrell Mitchell. He got straight through Atkinson to score another one. Latrell, he gets his third. And knocked to the ground as Jaden Sullivan gets up to go again. And the former Dragon will play it on the last 9 metres out to Brandon Smith. Short side level. Latrell beat one for the line. Did he get it down? After making Toby Couchman look like a 5.5-year-old. Latrell's over. He's got 4. Game, set, bingo. Latrell Mitchell beating St George Illawarra on his own, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, all I can say from Latrell Mitchell is a wow. There's a wow performance from him.
Anyway, Lewis, short ball. He linked up with support Fienge. He gets out to the left wing. Setu 2. He's straight past Sullivan. 15 out. Last play of the game. He's tackled. And it's all over. South Sydney does win. The Rabbitohs fans on their feet. They've beaten St George Illawarra 30 points to 12.
And now again goes Taylor May. Shrugs away one tackler. Back to Dream Buller. The switch is on here now for Sione Fainu. Half break here. Offload back to Dream Buller. He steps, shares it with Dewey. He explodes away now. Shimasaki chasing. Pass back on the inside. Can they get him? Tell him they're dreaming as Buller scores the try behind the posts. Now Shimasaki run down from behind by Croyce out. 35 out from West line. Man lost the pass at dummy half. It went backwards to Reynolds. He kicks for the corner. Bursting up here is Mariner. It was a weighted kick from Reynolds, and Mariner scores the try. Man first receiver. Reynolds back on the inside now for Gajeski. Backs his way into Hunt and Swole. And now he'll play it 13 out in front of the Southern Uprights. Rogers across now for Reynolds. Holds it back on the inside, and now bursting by Ben Tolte.